What's happening? What's happening, you guys? How you guys doing out there? Today, we got another great show. I got another gentleman coming up, Mr. Jonathan Henry. He's incredible. You know how we start out? We get everybody pumped up a little bit. How y'all doing out there? It's paradise. Today, funk music with Zack on IBM TV. We got Mr. Jonathan Henry from Vegas. It's early. He got up for us. So y'all make sure y'all chime in today. Also, his manager, H&L Entertainment, Heidi Wilkinson, she's going to be joining us too. So y'all check it out. Where you at, Vegas? I know it's early. Put them dice down, baby. What's up, DC? How you doing, California? What's happening? Washington State, Portland, Oregon, Utah, Nevada, y'all. Woo! Let's get rocking. DC, how you doing? New York, New Jersey, Strong Island, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and West Virginia, Kentucky, Minneapolis, y'all. Ohio, Kansas City, Missouri. What's happening? How you doing? Texas, how you doing down there in Houston, San Antonio? What's up? You know that's my second home. I love y'all down there. What's going on? Oklahoma. What's happening in Louisiana? Yeah, we're going to reach for the sky. Woo! It's a good day today. I'm feeling a little rainbow today. I want the world to know peace, love, and harmony. We're going to get hyped. Australia, how you doing? Germany, what's happening over there in England? Dubai, what's up, Ed Kid? How you guys doing over there? I know it's nighttime, but you know what? Get up. Funk music with Zack on IBM TV. Woo! Our guest today, Mr. Jonathan Henry. Oh yeah, clap your hands. Let's feel good. My main man, Mark Lee, behind the glass, my brother from another mother. I'm going to ask Mark right now to bring in our guest. Welcome to the show. Everybody out there, put your hands together and welcome right now. Here we go. Two beautiful people. What's up, brother? How you doing? Heidi,
how you doing?
Jonathan, how you guys doing? What's going on?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Everybody.
I know I got y'all up early.
Time.
I know I got y'all up early. I appreciate you. I love you guys. Thank you for joining.
I appreciate you.
Yo, man, it's all good. We're having a lot of fun. My main man back there, Mark Lee, behind the glass. Thank you, Mark, for making everything work right, keeping the production and the direction going and all that good stuff. Everybody joining us today on IBM TV. Thank you. Welcome to the show. Funk Music with Zack every Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We want you guys to join us. Get active on the social chat. And please follow my next guest and also H&L Entertainment, Heidi Wilkinson. Please join us. HJ. Why do I say L? I am so sorry. And it's something I belong to. It's that dyslexic
Well, you might be
thing.
thinking of my kids' names because they're Logan and Lauren. But
see, that's what it is. Right. We had Logan on last week, and ever since that L, that low, that been in there. So thank you, Heidi. HJ. And you would think I would know that, but believe me, right?
Awesome.
Something I actually belong to. Believe me, I screwed mine up so bad. HJ Entertainment. Heidi, thank you. I'm going to delete that. Hold on. It's deleted now. It's deleted now. Let me put on my glasses so I can see what I ain't looking at. Wow. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. Okay, HJ Entertainment. Heidi's here. Yes. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to get into some serious things. Heidi, real fast. Jonathan, real fast. Peace, blessings, and love to you. And thank you guys for all your hard work and what you're about to do and what you've done. So I appreciate all of that. So let's get right into it. Real fast. Amante, you're a drummer out in Vegas and, all that good stuff. And you're out there grinding and trying to manipulate through COVID times, as we all are, How did you and Heidi hook up, and how did you hook up with HJ Entertainment?
Okay, so I was in Oklahoma, and I was working, and a good friend of mine's named Ontario, he had he knew a fellow musician that we was working with. We had a fellow musician that we had in common, and he called me because he had got a chance to go on tour, and they needed a drummer. So he put my name in the hat for me to be the drummer on the tour. So I wind up calling this mutual friend, and he wind up giving me my manager's number. So I wind up talking to Heidi, and she asked me to send over my stuff. I immediately sent over stuff that I've been on tour previously, concerts that I've done previously, photo shoots, just basically all my information. And she talked to the road manager and everybody who she needed to talk to, and they loved me. So I wind up getting the job, and then I also got the offer to be the musical director for the tour, for the house band, and I accepted. And yeah, so I was the drummer for the Funk Nations tour.
Okay.
I was the MD. I was the MD for that, and technically we didn't really get a chance to start because of COVID.
Yeah,
it shut everything down.
Yeah.
So it shut everything down. So the tour was canceled. But I loved Heidi. I loved how professional she was, and I just came out and asked her. I was like, I would love to have a manager. Someone who can help navigate, my career and everything. And we discussed logistics. She drew up a contract, and I immediately signed with her. And we've been rocking with each other almost 2 years now.
That's what's up. Heidi, real quick, you met this gentleman, and you looked at his stuff and everything. And what was it that was the spark for you to want to take this gentleman on and kind of manage his career and, set things up for him?
His professionalism, his dedication to his craft and to the job, and the folk that I had met, that he had worked with, Mr. Harris, and the others, and then my band that I had contracted for that particular tour. They all like, that's a straight shooter right there, and he's talented. Right. I would work with him, and that says something. Not only in the entertainment business, that just says something, period. When you meet people in this day and age, in what I call 21st century business, who protect their name and their word. Because at the end of the day, all we all ever have is our name and our word.
Reputation.
And if we don't protect that, then you shouldn't be doing whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Heidi. I'm going to ask you to come back a little while and join us, Heidi Wilkerson, HJ Entertainment. And I'll give myself one sour lollipop for screwing up the name because I did it. Because I do this thing on Roundtable where I do lollipop scale. 5 is great, 1 is horrible. I give myself the 1 upside down with. Just so you know, and I know Mark is laughing now because I screwed it. I had it so set up, so perfect. And I was like, okay, I'm going to nail it. And I'm looking at it. But I think that dyslexic thing messes with me sometimes. J's turn into L's, L's turn into J's for whatever reason. I spelt it that way. So for everybody watching out there, I'm sorry. I'm only human.
Right. Aren't we all?
Yes, we are.
I want to make sure, that's all good. So, Mark, I'm gonna get with Amonte for a minute. I'm gonna bring Heidi back in a second. Thank you, Mark. And I just want to talk to this gentleman, get in deep about his profession and everything. So thank you for joining us. Let's start at the top, where I like to start at. Drummer. I'm a drummer. Well, drummers, we do make pretty good, music directors, because that's what we do. We see everything, hear everything, we're watching everything where we are, and we got to always constantly accent everybody's everything. So right there off the top, that's a gift. So God gave you that gift of entertainment and to see the big picture in the band. Who were some of your earlier influences, not drum wise, but just music wise? Take a minute, relax, and just think about what attracted you to this business as a kid.
Early on, I can honestly say Earth, Wind, and Fire, Tower Power, Spiral Gyra, the Gap Band, basically all the iconic, legendary bands, and especially my dad. May he rest in peace. He's the one who taught me everything that I know about music, about being professional at all times, being humble, being always bringing your A game, because I live by a model that says if you're not going to do it right, then don't do it at all. Because I would rather do it right than have to go back and try to fix it. My dad literally told his band, if you're not going to play it, I'm going to pack up my stuff and I'm going to leave.
Wow. What did he play?
He played drums.
What was your dad's name?
Gary. Well, before he changed his name, it was Gary Smith.
Okay.
He toured with Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Gap Band.
Okay.
When they did their Japan tour.
Right.
So he toured with them for a little bit, and when he changed his name to Gary Henry. Right. Which is I'm named after him. Jonathan Henry. So
right. Stage of that's deep. Your father. We all get something from the father, but our fathers and mothers always give us this thing, to try to pass on if they see something in us. Did you have any? And this is something I always ask every drummer that I know that's deep into it. Did you have any church influences early on? Did you?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
Bring some of that.
I was always raised in the church. My first church was Glory Christian Fellowship International.
Yeah,
that's located in Carson, California.
Right.
So I played for that church. It's I don't know if it's a mega church now, but I know when I was there as a little kid, it was really big. So they had it all. They had it all. And I played. They had two services. They had one for the children, and then they had one for the adult. I was the drummer for the children.
Right.
So yes, I was raised in the church. I played drums for my church, Abundant Life. Church here in Las Vegas. Amen. So yes, I stay in church. I stay in church. It's one of my big influences.
Yeah, I can see the spirit hovering around you. Because I'm a preacher's kid, so obviously you know what that meant. I had to rebel. Sir. I was funkadelic and church. You know what I'm saying? I was like all in it. I grew up literally when back in the day of the barnstorming, when the Five Blind Boys and the Harmonizing Four and the Beeman Singers and people like that. My first drumming gig in a studio, my first studio gig was cutting a 45 for the Beeman Singers. I was this kid.
Wow.
Yeah, my first record was a gospel record, man. And I'll never forget that because I still stay in touch with Howard Beeman. He's like my uncle, but my big brother, because he's the one that kind of like saw that light, that your dad saw in you, as well as my father. You know what I mean? But I only ask you that because I'm setting the foundation for my audience as we build up to where we are now. I want them to really get to know you. I like to do in-depth interviews, and this is only the first of many for you. So for those watching, this gentleman right now is going to be back on Amante, drummer Henry, we all have stage names and nicknames, So for me, man, I'm going to just call you A, because, I give everybody a nickname because it works for me.
You
my little brother.
I'm all for it.
You my little brother. I got to call. When you get a nickname from a New Yorker, that means we have embraced you, okay? When you don't give nicknames out lightly.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I got you, bro.
I appreciate the love.
I got you, man. So, you're growing up and you're listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire and all these great bands and learning. And did you have any formal training, or did you just get it all from here?
Well, my dad taught me the basics.
Yeah,
so
your dad. Yeah.
So he taught me the basics, but after he got sick, and he wound up passing, I didn't have a teacher to teach me about music dynamics, control. Basically, I'm self-taught.
Yeah.
From the age of 19 all the way up until 33.
Yeah.
So I'm self-taught. I went to YouTube University. So everything that I've learned thus far has been on my own. Yeah. And a lot of people are amazed at that, because I could sit in any room and play any piece of music that you throw at me. Yeah. I just recently did just a small time gig the day before yesterday, night before last. Mm-hmm. And I set my drums up, everybody started playing, and I just fell right in. Yeah. I think that's what makes me different and unique from, not saying that other drummers can't do that, but to just fall in, like I've learned the music like weeks ahead of time, but literally I'm just playing, just grooving, and just with the feels. It's a wonderful thing that I have people come up to me and after the show, dude, you're amazing. So that's a really good feeling.
It's a gift, man. When you have the gift, when you have that gift, it sometimes you can just hear it before it happens. Like one of my favorite drummer, my guy, is Dennis Chambers, right? And he doesn't know how to read. That's why we got that in common, man. Dennis is my guy. Dennis he's my guy. He's been my guy since I met him in 82, 83. Then, and he's he was always on Long Island, and he used to come to the drum shows and the drum clinics, and he would give clinics. And then, with the P-Funk thing, since I was roadieing for them too, for a minute, when they used to come into New York at the Ritz and stuff like that, and I used to work with Ken Wallace and Mike Wallace, right? I got a chance to really sit and talk to him. And then, of course, later on, when I got a chance to really get in his mind, as a drummer, man, when you're thinking about stuff that you have to do, and you walk into that room, it's a confidence thing, right? And you seem like a confidence. It's not an arrogance thing. It's a confidence thing.
That's two different things.
That's right. That's two different things, man. And it seems like, that's a good thing that you have, because to be able to be so versatile, and your dad being a drummer, so you already got that pressure of, I got to at least live up to dad's expectations, where he might see you in a positive way. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that, it's beautiful to see that torch passed. You know what I'm saying? Older cats like me see young guys like you still doing it, hitting it hard and believing in what they do. That's a beautiful thing, man. So here we are hanging out with Amante. We just chilling. From HJ Entertainment.
Entertainment.
I'm doing it. It's like one of those blooper things now. Now when I want, no matter what, that's gonna be popping in my head, and I know Heidi's backstage. You're gonna kill me. So again, I get 2 down lollipops now. I'm working on 3.
Oh man,
I'm rating myself. We rate ourselves. Mark and I are very hard on us. We're harder than anybody on us.
That's just a musician thing. If we mess up, we are the worst critics. We will critique our playing to the smallest degree.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I've been on some really good gigs where I played what I would call a 9.9, and that one thing that I didn't do right will keep me up all night.
Yes, I am the same way. I will watch a video that I recorded of me playing, and I will critique it from start all the way to the end. And if I find anything that's wrong with it, I will just sit here and why
not
my
do
God,
that?
I can't believe I did that.
Right. What was on me to make me want to do that at that moment?
Exactly.
My producer Kevin Harrington's a drummer, and he's played with everybody. He was Freddie Jackson's MD and everything, right? And him and I always talk, and we talk about this very same thing as drummers together, man. I was like, Kev, I hate some of the things that I've done. He said, yeah, sometimes, you sit and watch other drummers, and you're like, well, why? That was an interesting choice. Wasn't a bad choice, just interesting, right?
Yeah.
And when you're watching other drummers, how do you see them? Do you watch them more of like, say, I just want to see how they're doing it and what I can actually steal from them? Or are you watching from a point of view like, well, I would have done this there, or I would have done that there?
So I wouldn't say I would steal, but what I can learm.
Yeah, from what I can learn. Yeah, that's a better word.
What I can learn from them. Like some of the younger cats that's around my age, Tony Rushton Jr. for one, Eric Moore for one, Marcus Thomas for another one. These are all phenomenal drummers, all phenomenal, and I see how they do stuff and the licks and feels and how they I wouldn't say attack it, but how they come in. And I find it interesting how some of the licks is just so complex. It just make your head spin.
Mm-hmm.
It would make your head spin. So I look to those guys as musical teachers.
Right.
So what I take from them is that, it's all about feeling.
Yeah.
Just play what you feel.
Yeah,
and that's what these cats do.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I was going to mention something. We was talking about Earth, Wind, and Fire before, and I remember growing up on their drummers, and they were all amazing. And their drummer actually strapped himself in. They had this platform, and he spun and all this other stuff, right? And I thought to myself, "Damn, that's some serious stuff right there." Because to be rotating, not get dizzy, and still keep your thing going, right? So then I was like, because Earth, Wind, and Fire, they always top their show. Every show had to be better than the last one. Exactly. And then, they went through the phase where they put out some things, whatever, and they was just going through that next phase. And then they put out Systems of Survival, and Sonny Emery came in there.
Yes.
That brother, when I see him stand up and do that, right, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, and that's something I hadn't seen before. So tell me something from any drummer that you admire, that you saw something that you had not seen before.
Let me see. It was a drummer that I can't think of his name, but it was a white drummer where he had the stage, and not only did it rotate, but it flipped upside
the cat from Metallica.
Down.
That's either Metallica or the other guy, but I think it's Metallica's drummer.
Yes, and to see him, keep the time and snap and go off like he did.
Tommy Lee,
Tommy Lee.
Yes.
Tommy Lee.
Yes.
To see him snap off like he did.
Yeah.
And with all that motion going around, that was a turning point for me that I needed to step my game all the way up.
Yeah, Tommy Lee from Motley Crue. I knew the name. Thanks, Heidi. Yeah, it was Tommy Lee from Motley Crue. You know what was funny about that? That platform stage and everything weighed more than all the rest of the equipment that they had. That whole thing they built for him, and from the story has it that sometimes it didn't work right, and he would be caught up in there, like it wouldn't slow down fast enough for him. And sometimes he would be like on the side, he'd be throwing up there. I'm telling, these are what roadies told me, these stories. The roadies know the stories. But when that's amazing, because when you saw that, it just, because drummers, people don't realize we're a fraternity. Drummers are like the catchers in baseball. Nobody wants to play the position because it's a hard position. I tell everybody, listen, front man, you got to be in some kind of shape to run around, And but as a drummer, you're in football shape.
You have to be in tip-top shape. You have to be in tip-top shape because it's not for the faint of heart.
Nope.
It's a wonderful instrument to play, and I'm blessed and honored to be able to call myself a professional drummer.
Yep.
Because one, you have to have stamina.
Yeah.
You can't. You have if you're playing, if you run out of stamina, you start slowing down, you start dragging and
cramps.
Oh, let's not talk about cramps because
I've talk about cramps.
Well, my hands literally look like claws after I got done playing.
Yes.
So it's definitely, you have to stay hydrated. You have to stay in shape. You have to take care of your body because you're using all four of your limbs.
Thank you. I tell people that all the time.
You are using all four of your limbs. You're using both your arms, both your legs. So it's all about coordination, placement, all of that. So
I like when you said it's not for the faint of heart. See, and these are just the physical aspect. I love it because
physical.
Yep. I used to tell people, Dennis used to jog all the time, and they would ask him, why are you jogging? And he's like, well, damn, P-Funk plays like a 3.5 hour show. He said, I got to be ready to go for 3.5 hours. My thing was, I used to eat pasta the night before gigs, heavy pasta, because I learned from a marathon runner, if you eat pasta, it stays in your system for 48 hours. It gives you that blast that you need.
Yeah.
And I would eat big bowls of spaghetti. You know, when I was married, my ex would give me big bowls. And she's like, oh, you got a long gig? I was like, yeah, I need this energy tomorrow. And, you know, I used to work out and everything, you know, and Mark could tell you, I still work out now. I've been a front man now for a long time, but I wanted to tell you that fraternity, I got love for you because I know the amount of times your knuckles have been bleeding. You hitting stuff by accident. You hit your wrist on the rim. Got to keep going. And you know it hurts. You know it hurts.
Yeah, man. I literally just hit my hand on my cymbal and it literally like sliced the meat, like sliced the skin off my knuckle.
Yes.
And I was just looking like, oh my God, but you can't stop playing. You have to keep going. And
you're the heartbeat.
You're the heartbeat. And if you mess up, and not only are you the heartbeat, but you're the timekeeper.
Yes, that's right.
I get into it with my band. Well, not my band, but I've gotten into it with some musicians. They say you're not the timekeeper. You're just the beat. I said no. I'm the one who starts the song. I keep the time for the song.
Yeah.
So if I start too fast, then you're going to come in too fast. If I start too slow, you're going to come in too slow. So if I start right on time, what does that tell you? You're going to come in on time.
That's right.
So for all musicians, I'm going to let this be known because this was a debate.
Right.
Drummers are the timekeepers, not guitarists, not keyboardists, not nobody else.
Yep.
Drummers are the timekeeper. We hold the time. Yep. That's non-debatable.
Yeah, it's not an
non-debatable.
Issue. It's not an issue. We are the clock.
We are the clock. We are the clock. We hold it down for you guys to do your thing and get your shine on.
Yeah. And I know, I'm going to tell you something, man. Because now that we talking drums, bro, we're going to get into this because I'm loving this. Again, we're hanging out. You know what I'm saying? And we just chilling or whatever. And it's a beautiful thing. HJ, you know, entertainment, and we just chilling, and you know, Jonathan Henry and everybody. So when sometimes I would get pissed and I was playing in like bar bands and club bands, and you know, you're trying to tell them to bring it down, or you're trying to tell them like, hey, you know, just watch what you're doing, and people sometimes they aren't really into it for the professionalism. They're into it for whatever reason. I don't know about you, but sometimes I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna fill so much stuff up till you're gonna have to look back at me. Then I'm gonna get your attention, you know. Yeah. And when you're playing, sometimes not in the bands that you really, really care about, but in like say some bands where you know like something ain't right, and you're trying to tell them through drums, through how you're playing, you're communicating. Listen, this is where we're gonna kind of go with this because I know where it's gonna end up. You know what I'm saying? And then they don't listen. So sometimes I'm like, all right, because I play double bass pedal. So sometimes I would be like, oh, so you're not going to listen to me? And I would just like, and then they would look back. That don't go there. I was like, thank you. Now I got your attention. Now follow me.
Exactly. But so funny thing is that it literally goes back to what I said at the beginning of the interview that if you're not gonna play it right, then don't play it at all. Because I'm the type of person that if we're in rehearsal and it's not played right, what's the disconnect?
Yes.
And I tell everybody that I work with, what is the disconnect?
Yes.
Right. Yes. If you're playing in the wrong key, I may not be a keyboardist or a bass player or a guitar player, or even a singer. But one thing God has given me is an ear for music. Mm-hmm. I can tell if you're playing in the wrong key because I'm like, no, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it ain't right.
That doesn't sound right to me. So let's take it back and let's do this right. Yeah. Because if you call yourself a professional musician or any type of musician, and not even a professional musician, but a musician that loves music, then you're gonna wanna play the music right. Because music is love, music is healing, music has power, music is life.
Yeah, that's right.
So you don't want to not play it right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I really take music seriously.
Yeah, we owe it to our forefathers for that. Yes. So let's get into this G&A Entertainment, your new thing that you're starting up, man. Tell me a little bit about that and what that involves, and let our audience know about that.
Okay, so G&A Entertainment, which is a company that me and my good friend and business partner, Gigi, she was a lead singer in my band, Intuitive Soul. We came up with the idea that we wanted to do something for our community, give back, because there's not a lot of African American business, especially with studios and places to rehearse, or just to put on shows and put on our own concerts, have our own venue and all that stuff. So me and her, we sat down and we came up with a business plan. And I was like, okay, so she had an idea where she wanted to have a rehearsal studio. I had an idea where I wanted to teach because I want to teach music, and I want to open up a school of music for children.
Right. Wow, that's awesome. Sweet.
Yeah. So we sat down and we talked, and we came up with the idea that that we wanted to go into business together. And so we asked each other, well, what do we want to call this business? So my stage name is Monty the drummer. Mm-hmm. Hers is Gigi.
Okay.
So we both said, well, what about G&A? I said, that sounds dope. That actually sounds kind of dope.
Yeah, it is. It's meant to be.
Yeah, it was meant to be. So we called it G&A Entertainment. She just called me yesterday. We just got all of our license approved, our liquor license. We just got a building. We just got our building and everything. So now we about to go into construction mode and revamping mode. So yes, we about to build our dream entertainment system. So
that's what's up, man.
Yeah, man, it's a wonderful thing. I got some wonderful news yesterday, so
and I can't wait. That's what this show is about: spreading peace, love, and positivity. IBMTV, thank you, IBMTV sponsors, and the IBMTV Dollar Store, all that good stuff. But we brand ourselves at this network of always lifting up the positive, pushing out the positive, letting people know. Listen, no matter what's around you, there are other places to go to get your spiritual positive love on. And I'm so happy to hear that. You and I talked early this morning, or a little bit earlier. Yes, and when you mentioned that was something I definitely wanted to get into, because number one, I'm proud of you. Number two, you believe me, I know how hard it is. So does the audience. So does Heidi. Yes. So if you're doing that, and you want to be a teacher as well. And I taught at the School of Rock for 2.5 years as a drummer, vocalist, bass player, whatever. Yeah, I loved it, man. It was one of the best times of my life, right? Anytime, and Heidi says congrats, by the way. Anytime you can you can make that ripple effect spread out to others, you know, the Creator's smiling on you in a big way, man. And I'm so proud of you. Gigi, if you're watching, hi, Gigi. I'm trying not to mess up your thing. G&A. Try not to mess that. And these initials, oh, God. See, that one ain't so bad. My dyslexia ain't bad with that one. Man. You know, it's that HJ one that boom. It's killing me. Oh, God. Yeah. See, yes, again, sir. I'm going to be, bro. I will wake up at 3:00 this morning and say, why did I say that?
Yeah.
I will. Yeah. It'll bother me, man, until I get y'all back on. But anyway, I love the fact that you said you got your own building and you're creating your own thing, because as a Black entertainer and entrepreneur, that you're in the business now for a minute, you kind of got that dirt out the way. You kind of got that knowledge that you need, because you right there hovering in that 30 zone. And usually once a man or woman gets to be about there, they figured out how to get through all the BS, excuse my French, and then they've understood, okay, what do I have to do to make my life and community better? And you're actually doing that with Gigi. So again, man, that's some cool stuff, man. And Thank you. When I think about the road that you've traveled, and you're still on that journey, and you know you're coming up with all these great things. And when you see me looking down, I always take notes. I script my show out, so this is why I stay on track, because I try to be as professional as possible.
Of course,
I'm giving one of the Heidi looks. That's the Heidi look. I've been getting them lately since I've been seeing on video. Heidi be making the faces, so I'm like, I try to keep it as professional as possible. And as far as COVID related incidences out there, I'm curious, because I know Vegas is run by some seriously powerful people, number one.
It most definitely is.
And I know that from coming from Staten Island and Queens and New York City. You know what I'm talking about. So how are you guys dealing with the lack of institutional control over this thing, because everybody wants to do their own thing? So let's get into that for a minute. Again, here we are hanging out with Amonte on, Funk Music with Zack, IBM TV. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you. We got Heidi backstage coming on later. So tell me, how were you as a drummer, a working drummer, dealing with that?
So another a business venture that I created was it's called Drumming in the Park.
Okay.
So what I would do is, and I have to shout out my wife, because she's the one who invested in me, and I got to give God and thank her, and just having her have my back the way that she does.
Yeah. That's important, man.
Yeah. She supported me and through this whole situation,
man,
COVID and everything, from us having COVID and, actually healing from that. But back to what I was saying, that, which is also under G&A Entertainment, is called Drumming in the Park. So with gigs not coming through like they used to, I didn't just sit down and just roll over. I didn't just sit down and just
you pivoted. We all had to pivot.
So I'm always coming up with different ideas to where I can give musicians a platform to express themselves. Right. So I came up with Drumming in the Park, and it was funny because I was doing this in St. Louis. I did this in Oklahoma. But it took for me to come to Vegas to actually put a name to what I was doing.
Right.
So what I would do is I would take my PA system and I would take my drums, my in-ears, and a phone, and I would go to different parts. I would set up, and I would play smooth jazz. I would play R&B. I would play funk, and I would invite different musicians to come out and jam with me. Um, and I would and then so it came to me that maybe I need to turn this into a series. So it's started on Facebook. I'm trying to get it up and running officially. Now that I have my business, now I can do a little bit more. So I'm getting together a camera crew, and now when we do our official launch of Drumming in the Park, it's going to be a major concert. So basically, it's going to be COVID safe. I'm mandate safe distancing, mask worn at all times. We're going to have vendors. We're going to have different people come out, and yeah, I'm gonna have probably one of the dopest bands in Vegas come out and perform. I'm gonna interview them at the end, well, in the beginning, and then they're gonna perform at the end. So not only is it giving my business the attention, but also for uplifting different bands in the Las Vegas area.
Yeah, and I tell you what, bro, you know, because my other thing that I do on Saturday, Funk from the Front Seat on my own network, Nine on the Grind TV. All you have to do, if you choose to, is just feed me one of those camera feeds, and I'll run it on my network as well.
Thank you. Oh wow, man.
Yeah, man.
That's
I run it on my net. Yeah, because my other show, Funk from the Front Seat, which I'm going to have you on too, is my own thing, my own network, Not on the Grind TV, and I'll be more than happy. You just send me a feed, boom, we loop it up, and it's on StreamYard. So thank you, StreamYard. You got a couple platforms that I appreciate. But yeah, we'll do that, man. So I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to put that out there for you.
Totally fine.
Yeah, man. So that's cool. That's cool.
So yeah, that's another a business idea that I've brought to life, and that I'm putting under the umbrella of G&A Entertainment. So I have a few business ideas that I wanted to bring to the forefront. One, I am the creator and MD of Intuitive Soul Band. It's all original music. I created that. It's established here in Vegas. And now I have Drumming in the Park. Gigi has her business that she's putting under the entertainment, and now we're getting ready to officially open up G&A Entertainment for different musicians, where they can have a place to come rehearse. They can have a place to come, put on a show without, people breaking their pockets. Because right now, for the music entertainment, it's really hard. Yeah. It's really hard for musicians to actually make a living. So
I took a hit, man. Woo.
Yeah, we took a major hit, and right now we're slowly coming back, but not as fast as that we need, because of course everybody wants to be safe. They don't want to, what I'm saying? We lost a lot of people within these last 2 years. So it's I definitely want to bring something different. And that's why I created my own lane, because, when, musicians have their gig, they don't want to give up their gig to help another musician. So
that's always been the downfall. I say that all the time.
It's always been the downfall of that. So, I've been overlooked, but that's okay, because now God gave me the ideas that are flowing through me. Now I could bring something more to the table than
absolutely
gigging. So that's why I thank my manager for dropping the knowledge on me to learn the business. That's why most musicians are not as successful, because they don't know the business side of it.
Business side of it. That's right.
Learn. My advice to every musician that's watching, or anybody, if you're in the music industry, learn the business side of it. It's not all about playing. Yeah, you can play all day, but if you don't have the business and the knowledge and the steps, once your gig is up, what are you going to do?
That's it.
What are you
That's
going to
right.
do?
Yep.
You
Self-promotion.
need to have a business plan.
That's
you
right.
need to have a backup plan.
That's right. And a few things I'm gonna touch on that conversation. Then we're
Yes,
gonna
sir.
bring Heidi on in a minute. You have a few endorsements, and tell us some of your endorsements that you're involved with.
Oh man, so I get excited when I talk about my endorsements. So
yeah, as you should.
So one of them is Big First.
Okay.
Another one is Trexa Symbols. I've been endorsed with them for a little over 2 years now. I have some more symbols coming this week because I'm actually getting ready to go on tour in June.
Okay.
So I have Tama drums, I have Roland, I have Roadrunner drum bags, I have Evan drum heads, and that's just to name my major endorsement.
Good for you, man. Yeah. And anybody that can do what you do and all that good stuff, you deserve all of the niceties that come along with that. You know what I mean? Because it's important that you recognize it. And you mentioned something about before when people didn't quite see you as this or that. A lot of times the creators that's because they want you to do something else. The creator has another plan for you. And I was like, because I get depressed, man. I've been depressed for a long time because I can't perform. A long time, man. Because I went through stuff. I had 10 surgeries, so I went through a lot. And I'm back ready now. And right when I was getting ready to get back, then COVID hit. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Why? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but it gave me an opportunity to do this. And that was my pivot. I was like, okay, if I can't do that, I'm going to pivot this way. And it seems like, brother, you've pivoted in such a way to where you've continually kept your grind on. And kudos to you, Amonte, because that's not an easy thing to do because you're inspiration for others. Somebody now, and what's up, David Brookenstein, Dr. Brookenstein? He's watching. He told me to tell you hello. He's a cat that works with Nappy Head. He's out of Philly. And he takes care of our website and stuff. So he's in the fam. But yeah, when sometimes when you're actually trying to get over this hump and somebody may be watching today that'd be like, oh, wow, I saw, this cat and he was talking about this. So they're going to be inspired now to do some stuff, man.
Yes,
so,
I always want to uplift and inspire. And
yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, I don't tell myself no. And I get that from a good friend named Francine Taylor. She's always been a really good inspiration to me. Like when I used to feel down and felt like I couldn't do it, she always instantly, we don't tell ourselves no.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is my motivation. I keep that in the back of my mind, and when I feel like things are not going right or going how I expect them to go, I just sit back, I let God take over, and I just say, God, you wouldn't have brought me this far to leave me.
Right.
To turn back now, I put in all the hard work, I put in the hours, I put in blood, sweat, and tears. So we're not telling us no. So it may not be right now, but we're not telling us no.
Yeah, exactly. We're
gonna keep striving.
That's a beautiful concept and mindset to have, and thank God, man. I'm gonna bring Heidi on right now.
Okay.
And we're hanging out for a minute. We're gonna
chat
up with her for a minute.
In the world.
Yeah, she's doing her thing.
My manager.
She's doing her thing, man,
Yes, she
and
is.
at the end, Mark Lee always has a question for you. I hear him scratching at the glass. So, I'll bring Mark on in a second. Yeah, he always does that. I can see him itching to get in because Mark always has some interesting questions. He'll watch the whole thing and then I'll bring him on. Then he'll be like, well, I want to know X, Y, Z. So this is a cool platform for us because obviously totally organic. Obviously we can talk about whatever we want. So Heidi, HJ Entertainment. You see that in the corner right there?
Yes.
All right, I got you. I got you. Once I get rolling, I'm okay. It's just that initial out the gate,
Right,
but I finished strong.
That's all right. We done all been there. I got tongue-tied more times. Jonathan and I have been on the phone sometimes.
I know.
He's like, you still there? I'm like, yeah, I'm here. Give me a minute.
Give me a minute. Yeah.
Give me a minute. Let me get myself back together. Give me a minute.
So Heidi, here's the big question. Hi, Brenda Woods. Brenda's always watching. I love Brenda. You're a sweetheart, Brenda. So, question for both of you, but Heidi first. Now that we've had to pivot, and I know we're all on the safety health side of this thing, right? How do you? I don't want to give you to predict a time frame because we can't do that. But how are you setting up things? Say, for instance, your artist, as far as how you're dealing with venues with COVID. I think people need to understand and know what this is about and how you, as a manager, hands-on, are dealing with this.
Well, I just tell the artists and folk I'm working with, what are your desires? What are your needs in this new normal, right? Because even with vaccines and things, the epidemiologists, the doctors, virologists have all said this is going to be with us. Just like the Spanish flu of 1918. 102 years later, it's emerged influenza A, B, C, and D. And we have vaccines for all of it. So whereas we don't have to navigate the same with influenza, flu, I think that with COVID and all these different variants, we're going to have to navigate a little bit differently. And so the venues that I work with, they were always venues known for bringing in good live entertainment from the local, the regional, and even for many of them on a smaller national level. You know, like when Ed Sheeran wants to do 1,000 or 2,500 seat smaller venue. So those are the venues that I deal with, and those are the venues that are not offering live entertainment right now because they can afford to do so. So I've told my musicians, if you want to go into smaller venues, because they did not necessarily have the tools in place to not open, go by there and see what they're doing. Do they have things in place? Do you feel safe, comfortable going there? And I've told folk, honest, if you want to play there, I'll book you there. But I'm going to put an amendment in my contract that, God forbid, if you or a member of your set, your crew gets COVID, you're not going to come back on me. That's why I tell everybody to LLC your small business. You don't have to be an S corporation or a C corporation, but LLC your small business, because you never know what can happen, even in the best of times. So I just tell people, do your due diligence, and you have to decide, do you want to make $50 a pop, for 4 hours of work? Because the venues that hold maybe, 75 to 150 people fire capacity, they're only paying $300 to $500 pre-COVID. So they're not going to pay any more during COVID, and that rate of pay may go down depending on what their losses have been. So if you're trying to do this for real, my advice has been, like we've talked about, pivot, work on new music, hone a great show, get your EPK up, get on radio shows like I'm doing for Jonathan and you, even Zack, with some of the other connections that I have. Start building your name recognition, your fan base, like Jonathan's Drumming in the Park. We had talked about that, and I'm like, that half hour once a week, start building that following. There are things that we do out here that will get our names out there without compromising who we are, but also not compromising our health. Because I know, as a business owner, I don't want to be known as that manager of that booking agent. Like, you should have seen how Doc was operating during COVID. She was just all about the money. She didn't care about none of us. I don't want that attached to me.
Yeah, that's what's up. Jonathan, real quick to follow up on that. There in Vegas, it's a little different kind of thing because everything is entertainment. You know, so going forward, how are you going to, like Heidi said, get with some of the venues, even though we need the money, but then you need to do this thing safely, right? What are some venues that you're going to look at? Or is it going to be in, out? How are you going, besides your gigs in the park?
Right now, the bands that I'm working with right now, they're not looking to play the venues here, because their level it goes beyond the venues here. So, and I'm not saying that I'm against playing venues here, but where I'm trying to go, I'm a tour level drum. I'm a touring level drummer.
Right, of course. Yeah.
And that's what they want to do as well. So, right now, like I said earlier, we have a tour set for June, going to Alaska. So, we're playing up there for the first 2 weeks in the middle, from June 11th to like June 20th. And but when we come back, I was talking with Heidi, and I told her I don't mind playing venues, but if they're not paying me what I'm worth, then it's not really worth it.
Yeah,
like,
I get it. Yeah.
I can put on my own show or my own concert under my LLC and probably rock it, with different bands, different.
Right, and there are places in Vegas that are set up like the Billion Schmidt studio. Not only are they a studio out there in Vegas, but they also have the opportunity for people to come in and do live music events. They've got that big, huge parking lot where you can market food trucks, get 12 to 15 food trucks in there. They pay a slot fee. You take that fee that they've paid you to either put it towards marketing or distribution or whatever for your live event, and do that, and you do it right. 3 to 4 months of good marketing and good word of mouth and social media marketing. You could have an awesome event. So those were the spaces that I was actually targeting in Vegas. I wasn't targeting the smaller venues. I wasn't targeting the Strip because I know I can't get into the Strip. That's been locked down since the 40s.
That's mobbed up.
The main strip like the Mandalay and all of that. That's just out of my reach. But there's places like the Barbershop, like I said, the Billion Schmidt, the Eclipse Theater. You just, you gotta just watch what room you use in the Eclipse Theater. But there are about 4 or 5 good places that are within the Strip that, you can get in there for about $5,000, $6,000 and, for that kind of budget, and put on a really good show where you can get like 300 or 400, sometimes 500 people in there. Tickets, don't have to be astronomical, and you can make back your investment plus probably about 40 to 50%.
Yo, that's what's up. Right. That's what's up. I'm going to bring Mark in for a second. Then we get ready to get out of here and get back on the other side. I invite you both to hang out for the round table, and we can continue some conversation, whatever. But I'm going to close this out with Mark, your question. Then I'm going to do my exit and back entrance. So Mr. Mark Lee, I know you have a question, so you can unmute your mic. We all on full pod today, so unmute yourself.
I got to unmute myself, but I've always got a question.
I know you do.
And I've got actually a couple of questions, but I'm just going to hit 1 or 2 of them. One, Amante, you were a very talented individual. I see why Heidi has picked you as one of her clients and everything. You were incredibly talented and everything. I can tell that just from your conversation without even hearing the drumming. I can't wait to hear the drumming and see what you're going to bring into the house and all of that. But what I was going to ask you is, I've actually got some very, my heritage is mixed in terms of like definitely predominantly African American, but I also have some Native American roots as well. And I know that you had talked about the drum circles that you're doing, and I was just wondering if you could tell a little bit about that and whether that's influencing any of your own drumming. Because like I said, I know that I've got friends that are in both the African drumming circles as well as some of the Native American circles. And you have definitely come from Oklahoma, where there is a very active Native American culture. So I'd love to hear you talk about the impact of that in your own drumming development.
Yes. So as far as drumming in the park and my drum circles, I started by myself, but then I actually brought in another good friend of mine named Jerry Carvis, and he's been helping me build, and we've actually grown tremendously, where a lot more musicians and percussionists are coming out to my events, or every time I have drumming in the park. It's growing tremendously. I just want to I just want to do something different. I want to do something that's not being done, or that you're not seeing every day. I know there's other drum circles around the world, but as far as bringing your entire kit, and you have tracks, you have drum tracks, you have, music that you can play behind, and you're just playing for the people. And that's what I'm about. I'm not about the money. I'm not about none of that. I just want to play because I've been given a gift that I just want to share with the people. And that's just one thing about me, that I just love playing for the people. I don't ask for anything. All I just ask is that if you want to play, just come join me. Just come join me. I give the locations where I be at every time that I go. And yeah, I just love playing for the people, man. So,
and that's what I like about that, because when you play organically and you play for the joy and the people, I always hope that musicians leave their diva behind. Leave that stage persona behind.
Yeah.
You're coming out there to enjoy nature, right? You're coming out there to enjoy nature, to interact with each other as musicians, as professionals, interact with the people. You leave the diva when you're on tour. When that's when you bring the diva. But when you're just out and everybody just got up and took a shower, put on whatever, and came out there to jam and be with the folk, then do that. Leave the diva. Leave that home, and if you can't leave it home, don't come.
Yeah, we always have an expression, put that ego in the can. But we get ready to get out of here and get back on the other side. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Heidi. But y'all stick around. Amante, you've been a great guest today. For everybody watching, IBMTV.tv, please go support the Dollar Store. It's really cool. That's what helps keep the sponsorship going for this show. Also, Kim, I hope you're doing better. You're in our prayers and thoughts. So, as always, Nick, love you guys. And Kit, everybody over in India, thank you guys. Keep up the good work. Shaq, what's up, bro? Hit me up on Facebook sometime. Today, we had an amazing guest on Funk Music with Zack. It's been a pleasure. We're going to have you back again, and we hope you stick around on the other side of this. Mark, take us home. We get ready to get out of here. I love y'all. And we always go out with a little funk. Just remember, you're important out there. Love you. Yeah, man. Vegas was in the house today, along with Texas, y'all. Georgia. New Orleans. New York. Florida. Virginia. North Carolina. All around the world for the funk. Justice. We're looking for truth to save all of you. Y'all been cool today. I see you, Brenda, moving. Come on. Funk music with Zack. Our guest today, Monte, was in the house with us, y'all. HJ Entertainment in the house. We get ready to get out of here. Stick around for the Power Hour with Mark Lee, the Round Table. Oh, we got some things to talk about on the Round Table. Yes, we do. And don't forget, every Monday evening, Dr. Tawana Anthony has a great show. Mark Lee has a great show. So please watch us on Smart Television, IBM TV, StreamYard. We love you. Thank you for giving us this platform. We're going to bring everybody back, bring Mark Lee back. I'm your host, number 9. I'm out.
What a powerful discussion you were having, Zach. I mean, that was just real powerful and everything.
It was good.
I don't know whether you've ever had the pleasure of actually, I'm going to bring Monty in and ask him, as well as another question I had was going to ask him as well and everything. But I don't know if you ever had the pleasure of attending a drum circle, but I've attended both African drum circles as well as some of the Native American drum circles. And I can tell you that if you want to see some serious energy going on, you just need to go to those drum circles. They've got all kinds of drums. Sometimes it might be the more typical Native American style of drums. There might be the djembes if it's more of the African culture and some of the other kinds of drums, but they'll have folks out there dancing and just having a serious party. I know that I've got a cousin that's actually got her own dance troupe, Raven Street and everything, and they will sometimes just have a major party, and it's just great seeing that party happen and everything. So if folks have not had a chance to attend a drum circle, either the African style or the Native American style that are oftentimes at powwows and competitions, I would definitely urge folks to go and check those out on a regular basis because they can be quite amazing and all of that. But I'm going to bring Monty in. I'm also going to bring in Dr. Bill, and I've got some other folks. Oh, actually, it looks like Monty might have bounced off and everything. I'm hoping he comes back because I was going to ask him what he thought about Vegas because, I know when I first went out there, and there they go. We're going to bring them all in and everything. There we go. We got everybody in the house now. So
Round table,
we got this great thing going on with these amazing people that are here and all that. But Monty, one of the quick questions I was getting ready to ask you, and then I want to get everybody involved in everything, is I had the pleasure maybe about 2 or 3 years ago of going to Vegas. It was my first time ever being to Vegas or being to the West Coast. It actually shocked me a little bit because I was sitting there going, and I was not used to the whole, I was actually going to visit a friend, but I was not used to the whole gambling aspect and all of that. So like I said, as soon as you step off of the airplanes, the slot machines are waiting for you. It's the first city that I've ever been to where I'm sitting there like, as soon as you step off the plane, they're waiting for you. So what was it like for you going to Vegas? Because it does sound like you were a Vegas native. So what was it like when you first moved to Vegas for you as a young man?
So I recently just moved here. I've been here a little over 7 months now. I moved here in June of 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. I don't know why I did that, but obviously so many blessings have come about. I'm newly married, got married in December to my beautiful wife, Karen Henry. I've started my business. I've created so many different opportunities for different musicians. So I'm not a gambler, so you will not see me on those slot machines because I don't like losing money. So but for me being here, the time that I've been here, it's definitely been an experience. dealing with the music scene, trying to get my foot in the door here, and like I said, it's been an experience. So anybody that comes here and you're trying to get in the music scene, you're going to definitely have an experience with trying to get in. But the musicians that I have encountered have shown nothing but love. They've supported me. They've looked out for me. So I could just say that I'm happy to be here.
I understand that. I want to bring Bill into the conversation as well. And one of the things I'm curious about, and this is actually for everybody, but I know when I went to Vegas, and like I said, that was a few years ago and everything. One of the things that shocked me about Vegas and just the whole environment was the fact that a lot of times when we think of Vegas, we think of the glamour and the glitz. We think of the TV images and all of that. But Vegas has actually got some serious poverty that goes on in there. And there are some serious hoods in Vegas as well. And I know that even the apartment complex that I live in here in Durham, it's actually got some of the similar kind of apartment complexes there in Vegas because it's a GSC property. And I know that GSC owns properties all over Florida, North Carolina, and definitely some there in Nevada. So one of the things I was curious about, and I'd love to hear definitely from, Professor Tresvant and everything, is some of what he's seen when he sees some of these cities that we oftentimes associate with glamour. I would argue the same thing about Zack's area of New York. But then when you get there, you find out that they are a lot more layers to those cities than what we may be presented at on the media. And you've done political consulting and things along those lines. So Dr. Tresvant, if you could tell folks a little bit of your perception of Vegas and also just kind of your thoughts about some of these cities that have those underlying themes that we oftentimes don't think about. I would even argue Buffalo, whereas one of your areas has some of that as well.
Okay, I thought I was going to ease into this. I thought it was a Sunday, but I mean, we're going to start with poverty. I mean, then I will deal with that, and it's simply this. First, with regard to Las Vegas, this is what I do know. I was in Las Vegas once on a layover, and like Monte said, I mean, I got off I had a layover maybe an hour or so, and I was shocked. I mean, shocked. The amount of gambling. I mean, I couldn't find the bathroom without passing past, machines.
Yes.
A nickel here, $1 there, a quarter there, and then $1 in a dream. Now, that having been said, here's the other thing, Mark, because I really want to answer your question, and it's a larger question, and you're quite right when you raise it, and that is that oftentimes when we think about cities, for example, with Los Angeles, they say a boulevard of broken dreams because you go there thinking one thing, and then things don't work out. Or people flock to New York City thinking they're going to make it there because if they can make it there, they can make it anywhere, and then it doesn't work out. And you're right, Mark. I mean, even Buffalo, city of good neighbors. You go there, you think you're building, you're striving. Now, I do want to take a step back and simply offer this. Look, in context, it is not about a particular city. It is rather about a process. It is the clash between our hopes and dreams wherever we go, what we want to do. We find a place, we think that's going to be the place when we're young. And we go to build, and then we find that we have to deal with some other things that we did not expect. So it's not about one city. I don't want to sit here and be on TV and on Zack, your show. Listen, I'm optimistic. But it's not about one city that's bad or another city that's bad or, the Big Easy or whatever. It's about what internally, when we get there, what we do with what we got.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm gonna turn it back over to you, Mark. And
no, I appreciate you. Definitely, I definitely want to get Heidi's thoughts.
No, Mark. Yeah, you're bigfooting me. I mean, you came at me with a heavy question. I thought, hey man, can I mean, it's a Sunday afternoon. I thought, hi, how you doing? I thought maybe some glad-handing. I'd do some clapping.
Well, I'm going to get to that part. I'm going to get to that too.
No, Mark, and you came at me with poverty. And I was
well, you know, I had to give you the heavy stuff. You know, that's the way we roll. But Heidi, we're going to bring Heidi to some heavy stuff as well, because definitely you've been involved in the music industry for a while and everything along those lines. So I would love to know, and this is actually for everybody, what your thoughts are about this lovely new stimulus that we're supposed to be getting as well. So we know that a lot of folks are thinking that check is supposed to be coming very shortly, somewhere around the neighborhood of $1,400 and all of that. So I would love to know what your thoughts are.
No, see, Mark, now you could have started this, because this is where I get to shine. May I? Zach, may I?
Give me
go for it.
All right, so it was like, maybe 2 weeks ago, right? And then you asked me point blank, when are the checks going to come?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, look for the 14th of March. I said that then. I said it back in November when we were talking about the election. I said we are about to have a change. So fine, Mark. Don't start with poverty next, because I got all these books. I'm about to throw a book at you, and I can't get it through the screen. What I can tell you is that I was right then, and nobody believed me, and I'm right now. Because you know what I know now? It's not the check is in the mail. The check is going to be in the bank.
Yeah.
Before the weekend is done.
Just for the record, Bill, I gotta tell the audience. I gotta tell the audiences, just for the record, and for you guys on the panel, Bill was the only one when we had our election coverage that had faith. He kept telling us, and we were on for all day till like damn near 12 at night, and everybody was bailing. I'm the most optimistic person in the world, bro. Amonte, Heidi, Brenda. I bailed. I just said, damn, I got to get ready for another 4 years of this guy. Bill kept saying, to his credit, it's going to take a couple of days. Wait it out. The next day, we were doing the same thing on IBM. Bill said, it's going to take a couple of days. Wait it out. I guarantee you. He called it Joe Namath. He guaranteed us this victory. So, Bill, I will never forget that. So if you say those checks are coming, boom, they're coming.
Well, no, I was that 2 weeks ago. Right now, I'm happy to be here because, listen, and look, for the audience, Amonte.
Yes, sir.
Jay, right? Okay. And Brenda, okay?
Yeah.
All I want to do right now, because I've been missing, this, and Zach and Mark know this. For me, this is like church. Yeah. I get to come home. This is like church combined with my barbershop. I get to come home and just be free. So I'm here to get your energy up.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it. You're doing a great job with that. But Brenda, I'd love to know your thoughts about the stimulus check. Hold on.
No, hang on. And that's without me saying I told you so. Although, Zach, I told you so. Mark, I told you so.
You did tell us so. And we appreciate you telling us so. But, right. Brenda, what are your thoughts about the stimulus check? I'm going to give another question for all of y'all that I think was a amazing news item that happened in the sports world. Then we might get into some of the heavier things that I know that Zach wants to deal with as well. But definitely, before we get to that and everything, definitely, what was your thoughts about this possible stimulus check that is coming your way, Heidi and Brenda?
Well, actually, yeah, me too. It's already in my bank account.
Ooh,
when I saw it
off the phone,
I saw it on the news.
I get direct deposit,
and
so
I called the bank.
Got yours. I'm gonna check later on today and see if mine's up in there as well.
Because it landed yesterday. Mine landed in the bank yesterday. And I have this thing. And I can tell that I have really matured because back in the day, I would have been down at the Louis Vuitton store buying a purse.
Right. No, not now. I'm just going to keep my money in the bank.
not in this day and age.
Nah, you got to keep that money in
now.
everything.
I'm getting rid of that money. Keeping that money, I have to get rid of it before I do something stupid. So, tithe and property tax.
I paid off 3 bills with the 2 additional, the 2 other stimulus checks we had gotten, I got some work done on my car. I paid off bills, and I also am an adjunct professor at Baker University. So I got my Baker pay posted. So I paid off 3 more bills. When I get that $1,400, I'm going to pay off a couple of more bills, get that debt to equity ratio back down. So my goal is to be debt free in 4 years. So that's what I'm working on.
All right, Amonte, we haven't heard from you. I mean, I don't mind me. I mean, look, Mark hit me like Marvelous Marvin Hagler, No,
I was going to cover Marvelous Marvin Hagler as well as, and that's where I'm going to bring Amonte in. So hold on a second. I'm trying to bring everybody in and everything. So hold on a second, Zach. Put a muzzle on that man for a second. But seriously, and everything, I just got to give a major shout out to somebody that nobody thought, myself included, because they spanked my alma mater in their first round game, that Georgetown was going to win the championship as a number 8 seed in the Big East. So like I said, big shout outs to them. And it happened some 49 years from the day that Patrick Ewing, the coach of the Georgetown team, his mentor, his father figure, whatever you want to call it, John Thompson, had been hired by Georgetown as their first ever coach. So it happened 49 years to the day.
No, I got that part, Mark. But here, I'm just going to insert my little footnote, and that's this. Do you know that Patrick Ewing walked into Madison Square Garden, right?
Yes.
And he was stopped by a security guard. And the security guard said, "Who are you?" And he said, "Who am I? My name is in the rafters. And I'm a coach of this team." And then he was like, "If you don't know me, then, right, Patrick Ewing." All of a sudden, look, I'm a short guy, okay? But Patrick Ewing, a New York Knick, coach at Georgetown, Big East tournament, and we got some guard saying, "Who are you?" Man, I don't know what we do with our kids. Zach, you?
Well, as a New Yorker Knicks fan and diehard, and I got Patrick Ewing jerseys that I wear all the time. He's one of my favorite players. I was happy for him that he won. I'm upset that he didn't get an NBA job by now. But walking in the Garden, that you actually made that house part of your thing besides Frazier and those cats, I think it's a disgrace. But I don't expect any less from kids that just don't know, because they live in this 5-second generation now. We're in a 5-minute wheel cycle. And if you're 25 or under, which most young security guards are, whatever, or you're not in tune with things in the mainstream, you're not going to know who Patrick Ewing is. And it's sad because his picture and jersey is hanging up there like 100 feet. So if you're that out of tune, it just tells me that you're not in tune with your past history. I'm happy they won, but the same thing, that you and I deal with walking down the street, and we mentioned somebody, like if you mentioned Malcolm X to a young person, they might know the name, but they'll look at you like, well, what? You know what I'm saying? So I kind of don't get it because I'm angry about it, but at the same time, I'm not surprised.
Zach, along the same lines, and I'd love to hear what Amonte's got to think about this as well, but I watched one of the interviews, and they were talking to one of the announcers. This was before the game had closed out and everything, and they were saying that even some of his own players did not know who Patrick Ewing was when he took the job as the coach and everything. And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, you are in Georgetown where they won several championships. There's got to be all kinds of banners and other kind of imagery of Patrick Ewing, but some of his own players had no clue who he was, even though they were playing under him and had no clue of his legacy. So definitely, what are your thoughts about that, Amonte? You're fairly young yourself. You're in your 30s, but would that be somebody that you would recognize as an icon?
Of course. But for as Zach said, this generation is so disconnected from the roots and I would say the legends and the OGs, and it has something to do with the new day and age of people just doing what they want to do. They're not really they're not really studying the history. They're not paying attention to everything that's going around them. So they're just living their life, and they're not paying attention. And I feel like, as with Patrick Ewing, that's a legend right there. You know what I'm saying? That's a complete legend. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I'm saying? For them not to know who he is, that's just like a slap in the face.
Yeah, it is.
No.
And speaking of legends, you actually referenced Professor Tresvant, another legend that recently passed, and I'd love to hear some of your thoughts on that. He definitely had some amazing fights there in the Las Vegas and everything, but I'd love to know your thoughts about Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Yeah, Marvelous Marvin. Listen, all I know, classic. Now, look, we all think in our community and my people and stuff, we all think about, Ali, and that iconic photo, flexing his muscle, looking down, right?
Yeah.
Marvelous. Ooh. I mean, that's why we all watch. I'm going to throw this one to Zack because, when I grew up, some things you cannot describe. It was just a feeling like,
yeah,
I was Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard. I mean,
yeah, it was beautiful only because he was a lefty. So rarely did you get a chance to see the lefty, and the whole controversy was always, well, how is a right-handed guy going to fight a lefty? But the thing was, how is a left-handed guy going to fight a righty? So there were very few left-handed people at the time. And a lot of the stuff that you see in the Rocky movies and all that about him being a southpaw has to do with the left-handed boxing, and also, how obviously Rocky was a movie, but how lefties always had to adjust everything they did because most boxing matches are always righty against righty. You know what I'm saying? So,
no, but here, this is. I know people don't know this, but I'm going to share this right now. I'm a right-handed. My older brother, 16 months, David, is lefty. And we both boxed when we were in high school. And our coach taught me how to fight a left-handed fighter. But they love left-handed fighters.
Yeah.
And my brother with a left hand, and I was like, yeah. And then I thought to myself, well, listen, aren't I getting any credit? Because I'm boxing with a lefty. Yeah. And then here, more importantly, when we got to the basketball court, Dave was left-handed. And I was like, well, I got Dave, but you know what happened? When we got to tryouts, Dave got picked for the team. I became a statistician. I'm like, really? That's unfair. I was keeping up. But no, Zack, you're absolutely right. A southpaw, I'm telling you, there was something sexy. And I know this is not, politically correct. For a man to be saying this about another man, but a southpaw fighter, a southpaw dribbler. There's something poetic about it. Because we're all used to this, but, you get this, and then you're just like looking. Don't mind me, I'm sorry. I'm just so excited to be back.
No, definitely. So what is your thoughts about Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Amante? And also, what is your thoughts about, because it is a sport that, we oftentimes associated with Vegas. So what is your thoughts about boxing in general in the 21st century? This is 2021. We don't even really see that many other fights going. A lot of times we're going into the mixed martial arts. But I was wondering your thoughts about boxing now, even as a sport, and how it plays into the Vegas lore.
Okay, so I'm not gonna front like I watch boxing every day, but when I do, piggybacking off what he said, I'm a lefty, so
southpaw.
So I'm a left hand, and it's funny because I'm ambidextrous, so I write with my right, but I eat with my left. Mm-hmm. And I shoot with my left. I fight with my left. Mm-hmm. So basically, but I throw when I was playing football, when I was in USC, I throw with my right. Mm-hmm. So I can fight both ways. But as far as boxing wise, I can't say that I've watched some of the newer matches. The last one probably I watched was Floyd Mayweather, mm-hmm. and the last guy that he fought, I forget his name, but yeah. So I ain't gonna sit here in front like I know all about boxing and everything, but Yeah.
But it sounds like you know about football, and I want to come back to Amante because Amante has been our guest, and I want to get to Brenda. Hold on a second. I got to get to Brenda as well, but I do want to get to Amante because he brings up an interesting question. You play for a major college athletics facility in the sense of USC. A lot of times people think of USC, UCLA, a number of the other great sports venues and everything. So you were already on the track, possibly even to an NFL career. I don't know what your kind of like capability was and everything. And now you're in the difficult world of entertainment. So it sounds like you are definitely for both difficult worlds and everything. So I was wondering if you could talk about a little bit of that comparison between trying to make it in the sports world and now trying to make it with Heidi's help. And we're going to bring Heidi back on and everything. She was having some issues with her camera in that world of sports as well. Because it sounds to me like there's a lot of parallel between what you've gone through. And I know USC has got a very rich sports tradition.
Okay, no, Mark, that's great. Can I hear it from him? I mean, listen, I don't need the lead up. Amante, Southpaw. Yes, can we? He said, essentially, athletic career as a pro football player versus your career now as a musician.
Yes.
What's more tough? What's tougher, playing sports or getting ahead in music?
I would say it's a little bit of both. It kind of evens out because, in football, one mess up can end your whole career. You know what I'm saying? And in the music world, you could get blackballed and never work again.
Oh yeah.
So it evens out. The reason why I stopped playing football was because I have asthma. My 40 was a 4.3. Wow. So I was quick. I was a running back and I was a wide receiver. Plus I have built, and plus I have a nice size on me. I also played tight end. So being in the football world, I trained every day. Like squatting 550, bench pressing 315. So I was yoked and I was quick. So people did not want to go against me because I remember one time in practice, well, it was a scrimmage. I hit a guy so hard his cleat hit me in the chin.
Oh.
So yeah, when I was playing, I played for real, and I was a freight train coming through.
No, young man. My African poet. I'm feeling you now. Ladies on the bottom. Brenda, Professor. We gotta go here. You guys got thoughts? Because I cannot have my brothers be dominating this barbershop conversation. Ladies, take it up. Which one you want?
Let's go with Heidi. Heidi, what are your thoughts about the kind of contrast between sports and the contrast between being in the entertainment world? I'm sure that you've got definitely some kids of your own that are radically been involved in the sports world. You definitely have got clients that have probably been involved, like Amante, in the sports world, but now they're in the entertainment world. So what is your thoughts about the contrast between sports versus entertainment, and which is more difficult?
If I look at it from a business perspective, because I just got through watching Jerry Maguire. It's one of my favorite movies. And sports, they have entertainment agents. They're called sports agents. Mm-hmm. They get them endorsements. So football, basketballs, hockey, soccer, that's sports entertainment for the fan base. Just like, I was scrolling through YouTube because I like to look at old music videos, and I came across the halftime show with Michael Jackson, and somebody put in the comments, the NFL bought the Super Bowl to a Michael Jackson concert. So, you've got that direct correlation. Whether and if I was a sports agent and Jonathan was still playing football at that level, he could have well been my client, for me as a sports agent to represent him, get him endorsement deals, get him a better contract for playing professional football, just like Jerry Maguire's character had to do for Rod Tidwell, getting him that best contract possible. So I don't see the differences. I see the comparisons. It's all entertainment.
Exactly.
Well, it's all entertainment, but I'm actually going to bring Brenda into the conversation as well, because Brenda, you are a member of the line dancing organizations and definitely involved with line dancing. And to me, that is one of the most athletic fields of entertainment that there is, whether it's line dancing or whether it's modern dancing or some of the other dancing styles that exist as well. So, Brenda, if you're still there with us, I'd love to hear your thoughts about dancing as a form of entertainment, but also dancing as a form of being an athletic person as well.
Well, yes, thank you. And actually, it's dancing, but more on the side of the roller skater part of what we're trying to do for Bootsy's new music. But either one, they're both drenched with athleticism. And you can either halfway do something, or you can give it all that you've got, but it's certainly a physical component to both.
And roller skating is actually taking on some very big time popularity and everything. I know that here we've got some of the roller skaters, and I know that there are sometimes the roller skaters that are more of what I call the more traditional kind of like just racing roller skating. But then there's the roller skaters that get very physical. They get almost as bad as some of those football players if it's that competitive kind of like knocking folks off of their roller skates kind of roller skating. So I was wondering if you could talk about that as well, because I know that here we've got a group of young ladies that they do that more hardcore, let's like knock them off the rail kind of roller skating.
Roller derby.
Yes.
Roller derby.
I grew up with roller derby.
I grew up looking at roller derby.
So did I.
And right at Cincinnati Gardens, about 2 minutes away from our house.
Ohio. My mother would take my sister. Yes, my mother would take my sister and I, and we go roller derby. Not my dad, my mother, and then my mother and her sisters, and my sister and I, our cousins, when they would come to Cincinnati Gardens every month, we were getting tickets to roller derby. Snacks.
We would go all the time.
Oh yes. I grew up with. We loved that stuff, especially when the women would come out there. Let me tell you, the women were better than the men. They kick all kind of behind. Oh, I loved it. That was before Linda Hamilton and all these, Get Christy Love and all that. The chicks of roller derby to me are the original badass chicks. Oh yes.
Yes. And so that's what spurred me on to roller skating. We have national skate-a-thons now. We're in the 25th year of the big party in Atlanta, and I've skated all over the country. I think it's 1973. I have skated somewhere in the United States, somewhere in the country, and it's roller skating. People say, "Oh, you still skate, or is that anything now?" It's bigger than ever now. It's bigger than ever.
Zack, do you skate?
I used to. I used to skate, ice skate, roller skate, and ski until I tore my knees up. But I was a good skater. That's all we had to do on Long Island back then. On Saturdays, we'd all go in the afternoon and then pay our 75 cents and go at night. Because at night they would make it like a dance type thing, and this was before disco skating. This was before all the music came out and the lights and all of that. It was just a regular ring. But we all grew up with that. We all had our skates with the skate key on the block. So especially in the city too, that was a thing. And then later on, I had last time I probably skated, I was probably in my 20s, and then I had knee surgery, so I didn't want to take a chance. But I love the fact that we can incorporate, everybody on this panel with this thing, and then also talk about the Club Funketeers, which I'm gonna give a plug to because Brenda is an administrator for Bootsy Collins, Patty Collins, Club Funketeer Ambassadors, and we are doing a thing on the 26th. 2 Friday nights from now, on Not on the Grind TV, and we're going to have the Club Funk ambassadors on, talk about skating again. It'll be our second show, so we're going to do that. But Brenda's a big part of what we do there, so it's beautiful. Yeah, man, it's cool. It's cool. Skating is fun. You know, I wish I could skate now. You know.
What about you, Amante?
Yeah.
Do you skate as well?
I do, but I haven't in a while. The last time I skated was in St. Louis, at the skating rink out there, and I was pretty good, but I have to get my own skates because you'll wind up having some blisters on your feet.
No.
Now those, to me, the ones who own their own skates,
Yeah,
those are the skaters. Because my sister and I and our little girlfriends back in the late 70s and early 80s, we go. They skate. I was just there to be cute. I wasn't getting on the rink. I was just there to be cute.
Yeah, you were just being there to be cute, right?
Right. That's all I was there to be
away from those brownies.
Two boys was out there.
Right.
Hey, Brendan, I know Zach's got some questions that he had in mind for this roundtable and everything. I do want to get to those questions because we had talked about them via the phone and everything. But before we get to those, what are some of the things that we need to know about the Club Funketeers? Definitely Zach mentioned it to us, but some folks that are watching the roundtable here, they may not know who the Club Funketeer is. So definitely share a little bit about who the Club Funketeers are and how can one become a Club Funketeer.
Yeah, that's it.
No, Brenda. We're waiting.
Brenda.
She got bounced off. I'll wait for her to come back. To get back.
Then you're on.
I just got pissed off.
No, tell us.
I just lost connection.
We still hear you.
We still hear you.
We still hear you.
Okay.
You just lost your video. Yeah.
All
Go ahead,
right.
Brenda.
Well, what we're doing now in connection with Bootsy's new music from The Power of One, we've been compiling videos of skaters as well as line dancers to roll out with the new music. And so people are pretty excited about that. And one thing, people think that roller skating, you're just going around in a circle. No, we do line dancing on skates. We do ballroom dancing on skates and steppers and everything. Anything you can do on a dance floor, I've done and we've done on skates. So it's really opened it up to great creativity from the young setters as well as the older rollers. So we're kind of meshing everybody together and help put out this music by Bootsy.
Nice.
That's what's up.
Well, that's great. And I know that Zack is involved with that as well. Zack, you've definitely been involved with the Club Funketeers, but you also always times have some interesting thoughts about things going on the political front. So I knew there was a couple of things that you wanted to touch base on. So I'm going to turn the tables and let you handle some questions that you had in mind that you wanted to bring to the forefront on this particular roundtable. So I'm letting you bring those questions to our power panel that we've got going on right now.
Which is exactly why I was grateful that Bill could make it out of his schedule, and I'm glad Amante and Heidi from HJ Entertainment and Brenda could join us as well. Here's my thing. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I do this thing called a Lollipop Award. You get 5 if you're good and 1 if you're bad. I gave myself 2 bad ones today because I kept screwing up HJ Entertainment. So I am not immune to this award. What I did want to say is one of the reasons why I needed Bill on, and you as well, Mark, because your opinion is valuable. Bill, we got, and this for the panel, but I'm asking Bill the question too, but everybody, I want your answer. We had something that happened over the last 7 to 10 days that was a direct correlation between how we view ourselves as Americans with concern to race and how we look at people in power concerned to race. And I'm going to address the elephant in the room because that's what IBM TV is about, smart television. To me, and this is no slam on anybody with mental illness. Lord knows I suffer. Lord knows I take care of myself with a therapist, so I am not knocking that. It's not about mental illness. My question is, were the optics for me so bad that I had to watch 3 millionaires and billionaires sit on TV and talk about something, and one was wearing a $4 million dress when I got people on the bread line And it really bothered me the way the optics of it. I think it was a great topic. I think it needed to be said. I just think it could have been done in a more less heightened way where it wasn't thrown at us for 8 straight days. And you guys know what I'm talking about. I just want to opinion. I'm talking about when the young lady that's married to the prince went on the Oprah show and was saying all this stuff. So my thing is, yes, we love you. We embrace you. And Bill will tell you how he feels about it. You know, a black sister. We love her. She's ours. But at the same time, the optics to me were so bad, I just got turned off by the whole thing.
I was not turned off by the whole thing. And as a multiracial person myself, I am African American, Portuguese, Irish, and Scottish on both my mother and my father's side of the family. Some of my Western European bloodline comes through slavery. Others of it comes through love and marriage. A white Irishman that came over to this country in the 1860s fell in love with one of my father's folks, and they fell in love and got married, and then here you come to my dad, and then on my mother's side it came through slavery. They met, got married, me and my sister. So the powers that be, and that's why they refer to the royal family as the firm, because it is a firm. That the royal family in England is one of the oldest known royal families in history. They go back to the time of the Normans, of the conquering of the Normans in 1066. So you've had the Hanovers, the Saxe-Coburg-Gothas, now the Windsors and the Plantagenets and all that, who have been on the throne, but it is a long institution. And even over 1,000 years ago, they knew the value of propaganda and marketability and their social media at the time of, how do we navigate the wonderful times and how do we navigate the funky times. So I believe everything that she and her husband are saying. I think the platform was a good tool to use. It was professionally done. They called folk out in a tasteful manner, and the person that questioned Archie's skin tone, while they didn't name names, if that person watched it or if people they know watched it, they're going back to them and saying.
But my thing is, why was it so important?
Better watch what you're doing, because
my thing is. Dark. Yeah, and my thing is, and with Bill, why was that so important?
Which part? The questioning of the skin? Or the interview?
No, just the fact that, yes, it was a good story, right? It hit the cycle. When it hit on a hot day. I think it was a Friday, then it lasted the whole nother week. And we got it. They looped it, they duped it. It was on everything. But why, in the midst of our recovering from a pandemic and a pandemic, and I said pandemic and pandemic, why did that have to be such a thing? To me, every time the powers that be distract us here, something else is going on here. My thing is, yeah. I needed to hear that in such a way to where you're going to talk about it in a $4 million dress. I want to see you on the breadline talking about it. If you and Oprah, you got the Pacific Ocean in the background, I can't relate to that. So why was it that, and I know it sells, it's hot, right?
Right.
We're in a free press society. Why was that such a thing when I got the H-1 laws that are being passed in 42 different states that are getting ready to institute Jim Crow again?
Right.
I'm just asking the question. That's important. I did not need to know about her $4 million dress. I knew about her mental illness. I knew she was an actress. I support everything she does. I support them together. We, as consumers, licked that up for 8 straight days when we should have been focused on how they're taking away our voting rights. That's my point.
Well, and Monte, I'm going to take maybe 30 seconds here, and then I'm coming to you, but don't mind me. Okay. Zach, you're absolutely right. And here's the larger thing. And Zach, you're absolutely right. Look, I love my sister. I'm biracial myself.
Me too.
Look, we've all lived it. And frankly, I'm older than she is. So, I mean, I was back there when we couldn't even figure out white or black or the bus system. Now, you're right. Optics were bad. And yeah, you're right. But the marketing, they were making money on it. That's what they were looking to do. But you're absolutely right. Nobody is even talking about the voting right laws that they are trying to, retrench, to put us back to poll tax, all this other stuff, particularly in Georgia, 240 other things. Nobody was talking about the H.R. 1 bill that Congress passed and said, listen, this is what we're going to do. Instead, we heard states' rights and everything else, and everybody jumping back up. And so, Zach, I can't explain the problems of the 1%. Those are the problems of the 1%.
Right.
And what happens if the 1% is in charge of media? So the 1% wanted to hear about the 1% problems, but they're not the problems of the 99%. And you're absolutely right. The bread lines, the COVID lines, you name it. I mean, even in Texas, they didn't even return, and they refused to return the $16 billion that they overcharged in 4 days. And you got people boiling water, brown water, and not to mention Flint, Michigan. So, Zach, you're absolutely right. All I can say is this, Zach. We talked offline, and I told you don't poke me because I'm gonna get mad. But you did.
He likes to poke you, but I'm gonna poke Amante now. And so hold on a second, I'm gonna poke Amante because I need to poke Amante. And my question for Amante.
No, Mark, I am not done. I'm claiming this floor.
All right, go ahead.
The problem is that we are 99%. The rest of us, brown, blue, yellow, red, we all got distracted by the 1% problem. I'm not worried about the 1% problem.
Thank you.
I'm worried about all the other problems. And I'm worried about Flint, Michigan. I'm worried about Texas. I'm worried about the money they won't return. I'm worried about all of us getting our shots. I'm worried about why in our Black community there's a disproportionate distribution of the vaccine. So, look, white people are getting like 90% of the stuff.
Yeah.
Black people are getting like 2% of the stuff. Asians even less. Latins even yes. So you're right, Zach. I mean, I feel bad for her. Look, I love you, Megan. I literally love you, but I'm so sorry that your dress was torn. But I got a whole bunch of people that need a vaccine over in South.
What do you think about it, Jonathan, as a younger person? Because all of us on the other panel, we're older. We're in our maybe 40s and 50s and things like that. And you and my son, you and Logan are real close in age. You're 33. Yeah. Logan's going to be 32. And we had another show when I always ask younger people their opinion, because your ideologies and your understanding could be a lot different, because God be willing, you at 33, you got a long road to go, sir, in this life.
Yes, I do.
Years ahead of you.
What is your understanding of the topic? And as a 33-year-old African American male, what do you see in regards to the Meghan Markle, Prince Harry thing, and the pandemic and testing and vaccination, and as a person, who has seen COVID in your family like I have, what is your ideology and your understanding of just what you've seen, and like Zach was talking about, just in the past 8 or 9 days, let alone the past year?
Right. Okay. So don't revoke my black card. So I haven't had the chance to watch the full blown interview. I started it and I wind up falling asleep. So because I watched it, I tried watching it in the middle of the night, and I didn't get all the way through. So I still have to watch the interview, but some of the stuff that she was saying about the mistreating while they were in the over there, I mean, I feel like now, like we're starting to normalize everything that's going on, like in the world, like racism, police killings, like all this stuff is starting to become normalized now. And I feel like me and my wife, we was talking about, when we was growing up in the streets of LA, it felt like we were in a war zone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We was in a war zone because all of a sudden now we have to normalize burying our friends and our family members
Oh,
because now
God.
we're losing people to police brutality. And with me being an ex-police officer, I was a cop. It I'm torn in between the two because, you know, I was on the force to protect and serve,
Mm-hmm.
not to abuse my power or try to, you know, I wanted to make a difference. That's why I joined the force, and I served my country in the military because my beliefs is that I want to protect the people that I love, that I
Oh,
care about.
thank you for your service in both
You
aspects.
know,
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank
yeah.
you for your
So,
service. Definitely.
Thank
so,
you.
so, yeah. So, my ideology is that I want to protect people that I care about. Now, as far as COVID, I've had it. My wife had it. My brothers had it. Um, a lot of people didn't make it. I
Right.
was one. I was one of the fortunate ones
Amen.
that I don't take this life for granted because I have an underlying medical condition. I have critical asthma,
Mm-hmm.
and with COVID, it attacks your respiratory system.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It attacks your breathing. It attacks your
Right.
lungs.
Right.
So with me having asthma, I'm not gonna lie. I smoked a lot of weed. So because in clinical studies that it helps with bronchitis, it helps with different things that goes along within the your breathing system. And I was stressed. I cried. My wife can attest to this because I was newly married. I'm still newly married, but I was like, dang, I just got married and I have COVID. And this can potentially take me out.
Mm-hmm.
This can actually really this could be the end of my life. I have so much more that I want to do, that I want to give, that I want to just experience. I just want to experience life. I
Mm-hmm.
want to experience all that it has to give me, good and bad, because with that it comes with learning experiences. So for vaccinations, I suggest that everybody get vaccinated
I'm
because
getting
you know
mine.
what I'm saying.
Right.
Life is precious, and I feel like people take life for granted, and people just do just ridiculous things to just get themselves killed for no reason. Like gathering with no mask,
Yeah.
knowing that we're in the middle of a pandemic. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That's I feel like that's people who think like that is stupid to me. It's
Yeah.
just
Right.
why
Wow.
why would you want to risk? Why would you want to risk? And if it's okay with my wife, I'd like to tell this story about when we got married. Um, when we got married, we had a plan that we was going to invite our friends and family and
Mhm.
everything.
Right.
And once we got COVID, we decided that we wasn't going to invite anybody because one, we didn't want to affect anybody. We didn't
Mhm.
want to affect anybody else. We wanted everybody to be safe around us.
Right.
And yeah, so fast forward, um, in general, yeah. So fast forwarding, some people felt that because they wasn't there on our big day, they started making assumptions.
Mm.
And it's all about, like, to me, I didn't have any family or friends there. she didn't really have anybody there. One of her friends just decided that she wanted to come because she wanted to be there, despite some of the stuff that was going on, and I'm glad that she was. Her sister wound up coming, and at the end, a lot of people were upset. A lot of people were upset, but when we tried to explain it to them, a lot of her friends have elderly parents, so if we would have infected them and they would have went back and infected their parents and their parents would have passed because they're elderly, then it would have came back on us like we killed their parents. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, it was a lot of beef going on. Like my brother and his wife, they blamed me because I told them that I had COVID, but my brother was coughing in the car, and I wind up getting sick. So I'm like, dude, it's everywhere. I mean, come on now. But like I got my head blown smooth off my shoulders because they felt that I brought it into their house. And I said, how can you sit there and blame me? Like, you can't sit there and blame me when you've been having other people with no mask coming over to your house, not social distancing. You can't blame that on me. And I literally just got back in contact with my brother 3 days ago. And this happened back all the way in November. So from November all the way till now, I haven't spoken to my brother. And
okay.
it was
well, Monte, let me ask you this. I mean, I guess the question is, given all that experience and what you went through, okay, as you look at what society is doing, either with the distribution of the vaccine or all of the continuing racial unrest or everything else out there. I mean, because quite frankly, the point was made and it was quite true. You're a younger person.
Yes.
You have different eyeballs on stuff.
Yeah.
How are you looking? I mean, are you optimistic about the future that we're talking about, or what are you doing? How are you looking? Because I'm old and I'm cranky. So you go ahead.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Really, with me, I'm always going to be optimistic. I'm always going to be the type of person that I always wish for the best, but I'm always like, okay, I can wish for this, but I'm always going to expect there's always going to be something that comes with it. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay. All right, ladies.
But quick, no, hold on one second. I just have to let Amante know something really quickly, and then I do want to get to the lady as well. Amante, just to let you know and everything, your sister has popped in as well, so she's been checking out the conversation. So your sister has also joined the link and is definitely joining and watching and definitely giving you some moral support. So I just saw
What's
that
up, sis? I appreciate you. I love you.
Nefertiti was definitely coming in here and giving you some moral support. So I wanted to share that and everything.
No, hang on. Now, Mark, I mean, seriously, Zach, Mark, I mean, I don't think we were picking on Amante. I don't know why.
No, not at all. No, I don't take it like that at all.
No, Amante, I'm cracking a joke here. It's a bad uncle joke, okay? Get off the defensive. I got Divine Ascension, who's here for moral support, like you were being attacked. Zach, seriously? I mean, we haven't even established one of our own. Mark, you, Zach.
Here's what I was going to say. First of all, hi, Selena. How you doing? This is a roundtable that we do after Funk Music with Zack and all the guests on the show. For people that are watching, we have a variety of subjects that we talk about from time to time. My subject that I wanted to bring into it today was, why did this thing dominate the news so much? We kind of got off the topic. My thing was, I have so many, and that's cool because that's what this is, organic. So that's not a problem at all. My thing was, for me, I have 3 millionaires sitting and the Pacific Ocean is the backdrop. So again, that's burned into my memory. And you're talking about wanting to help people, but yet you knew, me as a black man, if I went into a racist situation, I am not surprised. Am I angry? Yes. But I am not surprised that they're going to say something. And it just seemed to me that there was this like, why are they saying these things about me? But I'm like, baby, you knew when you went there and you got all this money and now you the Duchess, you knew they was going to come at you. I'm just saying, listen, I love you. You're my sister. You got to be tougher than that. If you're going to get it, if somebody says, Zack, we're going to dub you the prince of whatever, with all your princely bullshit that goes with it, money, fame, for whatever. I know when I get there, mugs are going to be coming at me because of my race. I'm thick-skinned. And it bothered me that Oprah, who gets my lollipop one down, never went hard on her. I was mad at that because Oprah, I see you go hard on everybody. And to me, Oprah, you gave her a pass. I'm upset about that because I wanted to know why Oprah didn't ask her sister. When you went
can I jump in real quick?
Go.
I feel like she didn't go hard on her because that was Prince and Prince Harry and whatever her name is.
Illuminati.
But exactly. So it's like they have these titles. They have these titles that they're high ranking.
No. I got it, Amante. I mean, look, man.
Amante, I hear what you're saying, but hold on a second.
No. I'm throwing a yellow flag. I'm throwing a flag on that.
I'm just saying.
I got a title. You know what my title is? It came from Martin Luther King Jr. I am a man. That's my title. I mean, all this other stuff they made up when white people were sitting there, trying to figure out fire in caves. What do I care about that? It meant nothing. We were building pyramids. We had a library. We had all this other stuff. I had African kings and queens. I'm not worried about this title that comes from a caveman in England. And you're all sitting here saying, now all of a sudden we got to think about things. I'm telling you, Monte, don't mind me. Remember, I'm old and I'm cranky. Look, the world is changing. There are a whole lot more of us that are brown, blue, black, and yellow than there are white. And I'm half white. Literally. I'm sorry, I'm going to defer to you, sister, but I'm just saying. I'm tired of, I'm throwing a yellow flag. Zack, you're right. I mean, Oprah, I get it. We got
Zack, speaking of throwing the yellow flag and everything, speaking of throwing the yellow flag, I know you said you got to be right back, and I do want to hear from Heidi, but speaking of throwing the yellow flag and everything, I do think that she did not ask, and I haven't watched the whole interview like Amante, that she did not ask some pertinent questions. One of the first pertinent questions that I would have asked is, do you know anything about the history, including the modern history of the country that you have gotten involved in and everything? Because there is no doubt that there is some serious racism, including some Black Lives Matters kind of matters that are existing in modern day England. I'm not even talking about colonial England. I'm talking about modern day England. If you look at the history of what goes on with England and some of the folks that are like from the African nations, from the Caribbean nations that are there living in England and everything. So there's some modern day racism that exists right there that I want to know when she made this gentleman, did she even know about that?
The royal family owned slaves, and that's what they're not talking about.
But I'd like to hear Monty finish.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I want to hear him finish only because he was getting ready to get onto something good. Amante.
I lost my train of thought. I'm not even gonna lie. So, go ahead, Heidi.
I would tie this in what Mark was saying because as an educator, I do a lot of research, and there is this awesome program on Vice, VICE television called Black Lives Matter, the global racism, and they were talking about racism of people of color in Italy. Of people of color in Germany and people of color, the Ethiopian Jews who were granted asylum in Israel back in the 70s and 80s when Israel opened up Israel to all Jews. Now, people think Black Jews didn't start until Sammy Davis Jr. Know your history. Ethiopian Jews practiced the Judaism of old. They practice the Judaism of the Bible. They're not Hasidic Jews. They're not Ashkenazi Jews. They're not Christian Jews. They're not Reformation Jews. They are Ethiopian Jews of the Bible. When the Queen of Sheba, Cush, went and met with Solomon, who was the Jewish king of Israel.
But I want to hear what Amante was going to say, though, because I think it was important to continue to bring this around. So please finish your thought, because I think we can kind of finish this around. And Lance, how you doing? I agree with you, brother. I'm just angry.
So what I was saying was that because you have powerful people, you know what I'm saying, because of their titles, even though I know you say the title is I am a man, but in looking at it from my eyes, from what I'm seeing, is that the reason why she didn't go hard is because of their statue. They probably one of the most popular couple in the world right now. You know what I'm saying? So Oprah wasn't about to offend, the prince's wife, going in asking the hard questions. I haven't watched the interview all the way through, but she didn't go hard. She didn't ask. I feel like she didn't ask the right questions.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Something.
Right. She didn't ask the right questions. I'm not going to say she beat around the bush, but she didn't trim it.
No.
She didn't trim it at all.
She's wasn't the Oprah I knew, because I've seen Oprah go hard. Yeah, and what I mean by go hard, don't get me wrong.
I've seen Oprah go hard too.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I didn't want her to, like Lance said, I didn't want her to pull the wings off the fly. I'm not saying, I love that woman because she is Black royalty. As far as marrying the prince, my daughter's a biracial. I'm mixed. So I just think that because of what the optics were, like I drive Lyft because I can't play music, right? So I'm driving around and I got all of this stuff coming at me about what's happening with a couple that lives here that came from another country, but it doesn't really affect what we're doing here when I'm passing people on the bread line that don't even have a TV, that are sitting with the backdrop of the Pacific Ocean, that don't have billions of dollars, that I have to, this is what happened. I worked all day. I come home. All I wanted to know is, like Bill said, when is the check coming? Yet I got this coming across the screen about her thing, and I'm not knocking mental illness because I suffer. So I'm not knocking that at all. It's not that. Don't get me wrong. It's got nothing to do with that. What it has to do with is like, why are you showing me this at 6 o'clock and I ain't got no food in my refrigerator? That's the thing.
Hey, Zach, hold on. Zach, hold on 1 second. But we've got a new guest. It was actually Amante's sister and everything, so I wanted to hear from her and everything. So I wanted to hear what she's got to say, because she definitely was raising her hand. She's got a point that she wanted to make as well, and I definitely want to tie another issue in, which is actually something that Professor Bill had predicted and everything among his predictions, because he predicted last time that we would be getting our checks, and we appreciate that. But he also said that the $15 minimum wage would be getting passed at some point or another in the near future and all of that. But right now we're facing the fact that seems to be off in the distant future. And we haven't had a minimum wage raise in, say, about probably since the time that y'all were born and everything. Since I think the last one was like in the 70s or the 80s or something like that. So 80s. Amante and Vine Ascension, I think the minimum wage has been pretty much the same the whole time. And y'all are actually, I know you're in the service industry, being a musician and probably working in restaurants and things of that nature. But I was just wondering your thoughts about the minimum wage as well. But I definitely want to hear from your sister.
My thoughts about that is that what people don't realize is that, when you raise minimum wage, now everything else is going to go up as well, because now it's a new tax bracket. So now the employers have to pay more for their employees, and now food, milk, everything else, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to stay the same price, because once you raise minimum wage, they're going to raise prices. You know what I'm saying? Because if they're not making any money off, what they're selling, it's pointless. So now they're going to raise gas. Gas prices is already raising. Food is going to raise, and you're going to be. I feel like if you raise it to 15, even though $10, $9, you can't really live off of that. Get a better job. Like, get a better job. Like, you don't have to. I feel like people's circumstances is what you make of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want a better job, then go get a better job. But if you're gonna raise it to
no,
15, then
Divine, what do you have to say about what your brother just had to say? Because I mean, you've been quiet. You just joined the show. Okay, Divine.
Yes. So my name is Nefertiti, you guys. Nice to meet you guys. There's a couple of things I want to touch on real quick. First and foremost, the whole Meghan Markle and Harry thing, that's just a cover up because there's other stuff going on behind closed doors. This is what people refuse to pay attention to. This is like putting something else in front of them so that they don't see what's going on behind closed doors. When the election came around with this whole Joe Biden and I forgot the vice president's name.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. I'm not a real politic type of person. We just basically trading in for new devils. Okay, this whole thing is just a distraction. When you are putting, I feel like Oprah didn't go hard on Meghan because first of all, Oprah don't want to get killed. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that is going on. Okay, and she knows her place. She knows I'm not gonna say too much, but I'm gonna give you just enough. You know what I'm saying? Just enough.
She knows her lane.
I feel like also she's not really, and I feel like Oprah is not really for us. I feel like she's been sold herself out a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? With the minimum wage thing, they need to bring it up to at least $18. People can't even live off of $15. It's not really reasonable, and it's not
$15 an hour. Yes, 25 grand a year, 25 to 28 grand a year before taxes. So if you pay taxes, your actual income on $15 an hour is about 22 to 23.5.
And my thing is again, I haven't worked in the industry. I actually quit my job because I believe in being self-sufficient. You know, you have to have talents. You have to have gifts. We were all born with talents and gifts. Now, what you choose to do with that is totally on you, you know, but I quit my job because I wanted to be self-sufficient and I wanted to do things on my own terms. I can't see myself going to somebody's job, slaving all day and not getting paid for what I'm really worth. You get what I'm saying? And I don't care about you dangling no $15 in my face. That's not gonna do anything for me. That's not going. I mean, yeah, it may keep the lights and stuff on, but I'm still robbing Peter to pay Paul. Now I gotta still decide what bill am I gonna pay this month so I don't be behind on something. So it's like the whole government we just need different people in government because they're not for us. They've never been for us. And this whole tax bracket, and that's another thing. People need to pay attention to the stimulus. What is included in the stimulus? People don't read the fine print. Yeah, they only looking at the fact that Joe is saying we're giving you $1,400 or however the amount is, and then we're giving you the $15 an hour type of thing. But yeah, what else comes with that? What's the fine print behind that? Because people are not asking that question. You're only hearing, oh, you getting the money, but you're not asking the important questions. What are the politicians getting off behind it? That's what people don't want to talk about.
Good question and everything.
And that's why, again,
I had one other question I was going to ask you and everything based on some of our earlier conversation, but what are your thoughts about the vaccination, and are you a supporter of us getting these vaccinations like your brother is, or do you have some concerns about the vaccination?
No, I will not be getting a vaccination. First and foremost, that's a man-made drug. The whole virus was a man-made drug. Okay, I'm not going to take a vaccine, something that's going to potentially kill me and cut my connection from my divine source off. See, the reason why they're giving these vaccinations out is because people are becoming more aware of their spiritual gifts. They're becoming more aware of who they are. And they're giving these out because they want to cut off the pineal gland. The pineal gland is your direct connection to source. So when you cut that off, okay, you don't basically have a God. You're basically just a soulless person walking around on earth. I'm not willing to. That's really selling yourself to the devil. I believe in eating fruits. I believe in taking my vitamins, and I believe in living a healthy life. Meaning, I don't have stressful people around me. I don't have people that are going to cause me a whole bunch of heartache. I'm not going to have people causing me a whole bunch of having to, give them the side eye. Like, are they really for me? Are they not for me? That a lot of that stuff, anxiety, social media, all this crap. They use you guys' energy to keep fueling these agendas. And that's what people fail to realize too. I'm not going to get on Facebook and be envying people who are taking these trips and doing all this other stuff. For what? They've used social media for the wrong reasons. They've done things for the wrong reasons. Now you got people, the depression is at an all-time high. I remember when Facebook first came out, Instagram first came out, they did a test in Harvard, and they said that the depression rate went so skyrocketed through the roof because of what they're being seen, because people are taking trips and doing things, and then you got people who don't have. Mm-hmm.
No, I have a question there for Chidi. May I, please? Yes. Listen, don't we have a right to just be stupid? I mean, so you're like, Facebook. I mean, don't I just have a right to be stupid? I mean, isn't that part of my freedom? So I get that you're arguing for it and championing for it and pointing in the right direction and saying, hey, here's the North Star. I get all that. But I mean, at some point in time, don't I just get a right? I just want to be stupid and I want to be depressed. And I like Facebook.
Everybody has free will. Everybody has free will. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Facebook. It's what you do on Facebook. It's what you do on social media that matters. You get what I'm saying? If you're constantly the type of person that promotes violence or promotes bigotry, things of that nature, then yeah, of course.
But this is why we use platforms like this to bring these discussions to social media, because everybody on social media, some of us are actually doing good. Right. Some of us actually have good shows with content and lawyers' den information and Mark's political and even your information that you're dropping. I, for one, agree with a lot of what you're saying, only because I study my Egyptian history. I'm an alien. I'm a hybrid. I know all about the pineal gland. I know exactly what the powers that be, the people that own the color purple and blue, are actually doing. I know how they killed Prince. I know how they killed Michael Jackson. I know how they killed all our superstars. I know how the Illuminati system works, and I'm just going to say it. I may go out, my car may blow up. I know exactly what you're saying, but at the same time, the only thing that I was bringing up is because this particular interview, and I've seen Oprah do other interviews with Whitney, this and that, or whatever, I knew, and when I say why wasn't she going hard, that was a rhetorical question. I knew she wasn't going to go as hard because of who she was dealing with. My thing is the distraction. I brought it up because I don't want us to be distracted, because it was the same day they were trying to put in Jim Crow laws. So the reason I'm talking about it is because I want everybody to stay awake on your local government. That's why I brought this up. It needed to be said because they're passing laws that are not going to allow you to vote in 4 years.
Mm-hmm. I agree with
that. Exactly.
And a lot of folks are definitely seeing that.
They are... Yeah,
go ahead.
Like I said, they are. That's why I said people need to read. People need to read the fine print. Stop just letting them give you money. People sell themselves out for money because they're lacking other things inside of them. See, when you're only happy because you have money, money doesn't make you happy. You have to be happy within yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I really feel like, too, the way that they did Meghan, I already knew that the royal family, first of all, was very unhappy with the fact that Prince Harry decided to marry, you know what I'm saying, a biracial woman. And not only that, but when they killed his mom, do you know that they killed his mom because she was pregnant with old boys with her
exactly.
Well, it was gonna be her husband, but she was pregnant. She was pregnant with the baby, and with the Muslim guy. And they killed her because they disapproved of the simple fact that she went with an Arab. You get what I'm saying? They're trying to control. You can't control somebody's life. And they tried to control that woman, and they're trying to control them now, talking about they're gonna cut them off. And baby, that's how you know money don't make people happy, because Megan was like, I'll take whatever just to get away from y'all.
Yeah. Right.
I'll be broke, but I'll be happy.
Right.
I'll
Amen.
be the title.
Amen.
I'll be happy.
Right. Because money don't take care of everything other than paying the bills, baby.
Yeah, money don't make people. The most richest people are probably one of the most depressing people, because new levels, new devils.
Right.
And if you don't know yourself, literally, you will become a statistic of being depressed, constantly feeding yourself these depressants. You know what I'm saying? And trying to figure out your whole life. And then by the time you 70 and 80, you grouchy and you wonder why you ain't made no progress in life.
No.
I'm gonna live my.
I've got to go, y'all. I've got to go.
Okay.
I've got other things, but this has been an awesome conversation, especially with the young folk in here.
Yes.
Nefertiti, girl, you and I gotta have a conversation. You and I gotta talk about some things. Yes.
Because, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do something really bold here right now. And hold on a second, Heidi. Before you leave, I'm going to do something really bold here, and I hope that it's all right with you and everything. And I hope it's all right with Zack. But I know we've got Amonte's email, and I know that we've got now we've got contact with Nefertiti and everything. So if both of you will kindly drop in the chat section a way that we can get in touch with you, I want both of y'all to be part of the roundtable whenever possible on Sundays on a regular basis after Zack's show, and to join the conversation. So I would love to have both of y'all whenever possible. I know y'all are both trying to do other things on a regular basis. I know definitely Amonte's trying to get his music career going. I don't know what kind of entrepreneurship things you're working on, Nefertiti, but just know that you have a home right here as well to share your conversations and all of that. We would love to have you coming in here any Sunday. I'm the primary host of this right after Zack does his funk music with Zack, and I would love to have y'all's voice, because I think that we don't hear enough from the young folks. So I would love
Mark
to
is going to ask you,
both of you.
And Mark is going to ask you on his shows, so you know. So be prepared, because Mark's got like 3 or 4. And he
I just dropped my information down in the chat.
So be looking for that.
Awesome. You
guys
Logan, Nefertiti, do a round table with the young 30-something.
Yeah, that would. I'll be honored to join that.
You're old enough to know, but you're young enough to bring another perspective.
Exactly.
So,
like
Logan, Jonathan, and your sister. Ooh, Lord have mercy.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a great topic.
But I just want to say one thing before I head out, because I shared this song with Amonte when people were down. It is by Daryl Coley. It is called "God is Preparing Me." If you really listen to those words, folks, when you're dealing with the things that we've been talking about today, and while things aren't happening the way you want to, God is preparing you. He's maturing you. He's there for you because he cares for you. So that's why that saying is let go and let God. I tell Jonathan all the time, have faith, be persistent, and have patience, because things are going to work out the way we want to. And even at my age, 56, I know that God is preparing me. He is maturing me because he cares for me, so that I can be right to do what I need to do for the folk that I work with and work for. That's Zack, that's Jonathan, that's Adrian, that's Ricky, that's Ernest, that's Trinity. That's the other artists who I'm getting ready to bring into my fold. So we're nothing without each other. So just keep faith, keep persistence, keep patient, continue to pray, and we're gonna get where we want to be. Everything don't happen overnight, and that's okay, and that's not a bad thing. So on that, and so I can wipe my face before I just start really blubbering, I'm going to get off the phone here. You all are inspiration. Miss Nefertiti. Girl, yeah. I like what you about. Lord, you like some of the women in my family. God love you.
Thank you.
Jonathan, you are an inspiration. Young man, you are like my son. When Logan wasn't available for some things, you stepped up and you called me, Miss Heidi, Dr. Heidi. I know Logan can't do it, but if you need me, I will come. So I appreciate you. Zack, I appreciate you. Eric, thank you. Everybody on the round table. I enjoy things. I look forward to them every Sunday. I've got people on my LinkedIn. It's like, we see what you're doing, Doc. Even at my other job at Amazon, there's Amazon leaders who are like, we see what you're doing on LinkedIn. We didn't realize all that about you. I'm like, well, yeah. And so it's like, wow, you're inspiring me to think about some other things. So this roundtable is an inspiration because you don't know who you're reaching. So just thank you all for the positive outlet. Keep this conversation going, and I'll be back next week because I got another artist who's going to be on the show next week. Stone Paxton out of Vegas. So so you all keep this conversation going, and God be with you all. I love you all, and I will see everybody.
Love you too, babe.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're
Definitely
welcome.
great conversation. We continue this conversation and everything. Definitely, we can have it going for a while, but we do get ready to wrap it up shortly, but not too much shortly. I did want to bring up something that Nefertiti was bringing into focus and everything. And I am probably going to go ahead just because both of my family members have, and it does seem to be a lot of things that are going on a positive sense. But as I told Zack, I definitely had one of my past guests on, and they had some concerns about the vaccine as well. They were actually bringing up the fact that the vaccine, in their mind, contains potassium chloride, which is also the injectable that is given to prisoners on death row. So they were saying that was one of the facts that Lois brought in, and she's a coach and everything that does with a lot around shame and guilt, and was a past guest and everything. And she was also saying that vaccinated people sometimes have a high risk of contracting the virus, which is now being reported according to her and everything. So definitely there are some concerns about the way the vaccine rolled out. So I'm still doing some of my research and giving that due diligence. Like I said, that's just some of what they reported, and I'm still trying to figure out on my own a little bit about that. But there is some people that are concerned about some of the steps that went into the vaccine. So you may have some folks that are seeing that same thing in Nefertiti, but I definitely want to hear from you, Bill. And I was actually going to bring in another question to you, Bill, and everything, and I got to get to Brenda as well. But one of the things that Nefertiti brought up was how a lot of times things are done with sleight of hand. And we do know that one of the things that he was criticized about was foreign policy, meaning the current president, not the one that left 1600. And we have recently had some attacks on Arab in Syria and things of that nature. So I was wondering what your thoughts were as to whether those are justifiable attacks, or is this something that he is being pushed into as what is going on now, because those attacks have now been going on, I want to say, for a few weeks now. But I was wondering your thoughts, being the political person here, Mr. Tresvant.
Okay, actually, I'm going to take the two questions in reverse order because Nefertiti, I have to disagree, and I'm going to come at you. But I want to take care of the Arabs first. Look, they've been fighting that war for over 2,000 years, and nothing we're doing today is going to change what's going to change tomorrow. And so, quite frankly, that's another 1% problem. I'm not really worried about the Middle East. I mean, the 1% people are going to handle it. I mean, you got the crown prince of Saudi Arabia murdering people in Turkey. Really? How's that affecting me, Zack? Just to get your attention.
Yes, I was taking down the phone numbers and stuff.
Oh no,
Yes,
Zack,
you're right.
I was poking you because you poked me. I know. I just want to make sure you're still there.
I'm totally here. I just want to make sure I got their info because I want to send them some stuff. But
okay, no, that's cool. But Nefertiti, listen, I absolutely disagree. I think our people ought to be taking the vaccine. I do not agree with you. I mean, I hear you and I understand spiritually and I know where all that stuff is coming from. But at the end of the day, it's a matter of life and death. And, every single time, I get the Tuskegee experiment and then everybody's running around using that as an excuse to say that it's another attack on us. But this time it's about survival.
Basically, what you're telling me is that you would rather be a test dummy.
No, that's no question. No, because I heard you. And remember, I only had 30 seconds. I mean, we let you go. So I get you when you say that, separate me from my spirit. Make me a dummy. Make me a walking zombie. I do not think that is the case. I just happen to disagree. Because fundamentally, for me, when I look around at our people, it's a matter of survival. It's a matter of our own people surviving. and taking it so that like Amante had COVID, right? But now, look, if he gets the vaccine, then he's going to be alive. And you know what I know about that? And don't mind me, Nefertiti, and I'm going to throw it to you just after I say this, but I really want to watch you. We lost over 50 million in the Middle Passage. 50 million plus, because we can't even count in the Middle Passage. Now, I'm for anything and everything that helps my people survive. Now, it could be true. You can say, yeah, there's this bad stuff. This is that bad stuff. Yeah, you got to look out for this. You got to be skeptical about that. I believe in healthy skepticism. But anything that helps my people survive, because in World War II, we had 6 million Jews. And you know what they came up with? Never forget and never again. Now, I got 50 million that we lost in the Middle Passage. And I'm saying never forget and never again. So if it takes a vaccine, one of the three, then I want my people to have it. I want us to survive. I don't want to go back to 50 million. Nefertiti, it's your floor. My fault.
Whatever is good for the goose is good for the gander. In all honesty. So I'm going to say this. I don't believe in the vaccine. I believe that they are trying to depopulate. Okay. And this is why we lost so many people. Okay. Because it's very crowded. And then, of course, we have a lot of people having, we've had these baby booming seasons where, they're just replacing souls. Okay. I honestly believe that this vaccine is going to be a silent killer. Okay. I have no judgment about people who get the vaccine. Congratulations. However, if you do your research and you study and you actually start to incorporate a lot of the natural herbs and a lot of the natural supplements and the things of that nature, you don't have to worry about the vaccine. You don't have to worry about feeling scared to go out. I don't feel scared when I go out. You want to know why? Because I'm very confident in my health. I know my health. Okay. I know what I eat. I know what I don't go. I don't go to a place where there's a whole bunch of people. See, people have gotten scared because they basically have been told that they can't go outside. So when they get a chance to go outside, they're going out with all the people who may have that shit. Excuse my French. You know what I'm saying? They're going out with people who have this walking whatever disease. Yes, it's going to turn people into zombies. I definitely believe that that's going to happen. They already have it on the CDC, where they have like drills for zombies, for a zombie attack. What kind of crap is that?
All right.
Can you comment on that?
No, I hear no, Nefertiti. I cannot comment on that because I don't know that. But
I can, but I want to hear from Brenda.
I want to hear from Brenda. Brenda has actually been involved in getting her vaccination, and I want to hear her thoughts about the whole conversation. So, Brenda, I need to hear from you as well.
All right. Well, I was one of those Tuskegee people also that always pointed to that. But what made this pandemic different from any other times is that I am individually being affected by this. So I need to do my research and not have knee-jerk reactions to new information that I'm getting. Weigh it and just see what you think about it. I decided to get the vaccine. I have underlying health conditions. And basically, it just came down to a point, I want to live. And if that's something that I think will help me, I'll do it. And what I don't care for a lot is that people forget that you are responsible for your own course of care. And when people get combative because you've chosen something for yourself, that's just really crazy for me. Those that are against the vaccine, that's their right. And it's their right to do or not do. And just afford me the same courtesy. And especially after it's already done now, I've had my first one, getting ready to do the second. but each individual has their own right to make their own decision. Once made, not to be browbeaten for it. I wouldn't castigate anybody that did not take the virus, just like everybody doesn't think the same way that I do about each issue in life. And this one is protecting, in my opinion, protecting your life. So that's why I did it for me. But I wouldn't browbeat or insult or any of those negative things for what other people want to do with their lives. God bless them, and God bless me too. And if we could take the negativity out of a decision being made one way or the other, I think it would help people come to a decision quicker than they're kind of being dragged into.
I just wanted to put my 2 cents in because I've been listening to everybody. Amante, you can go ahead of me if you want, but it's going to take a second. But so Here's the thing, right? I remember as a kid, we all went to the elementary school, and it was diphtheria, it was polio, it was measles, it was German measles and chicken pox. It was 5. So everybody out there, the audience watching me, it was 5. Now, what bothers me about this, and I'm still on the fence about the vaccine. I understand both sides of it. Lord knows I hear both sides of it. I've been debating both sides of it. I'm leaning towards getting it only because I'm not really worried because I'm a hybrid. It won't affect me. But what I am saying is this. I don't like the fact that there are 3 or 4 different ones. I think everybody should have got together and made one good one. So that bothers me. And I also don't like the fact that some of the things in the vaccine haven't really been thought out properly because we're trying to cure people. The positive side is I do know it can and has evidently suppressed this pandemic that we're in so people can go out and do things like this show. Imagine if we were all sick and we died, we wouldn't be able to do this. So I'm looking at it from that point of view. But what I am saying is, as a kid, I remember standing in line and they gave it to us on a sugar cube and there was no age limit. There was no list. There was no, well, you got to come on this day, that day, whatever. They just did it. And it makes sense. I think we've gotten too much into the small boxes that everything has to fit in. To me, some things don't have to fit into a small box. Major things like this pandemic that was worldwide, and I know because my cousin died of COVID. So I'm speaking from experience. She died of COVID. If she would have had a vaccine, maybe it would have saved her. I don't know. She was a promising jazz singer, professional, died, right? So it hit my family. And what I am saying is they have so many lists and so many variables. That was a mistake. It should have been, listen, everybody come here that wants to get it. Everybody roll their sleeve up and we just knock it out. I don't like bureaucracy. And for those of you that know me on the panel know I hate bureaucracy. I hate red tape. I think it was far too much red tape. The veterans that fought for this country, people of age, whatever, all of that should have just been like, hey, just come get it. You know what I mean? Now, my second point is I want the good shit. I want the shit that went in Biden's arm if I'm going to get the vaccine. That's what I'm saying. Because I know damn well the shit that I'm going to get down here at the Duke Clinic is not going to be the same shit that Biden got. That's all I'm saying. So y'all can take it from there.
I want to hear from Monty as well, but I'm just going to add something, and it kind of comes back to what Nefertiti was saying, and it kind of is along the lines of what you're talking about with bureaucracy. I think I mentioned before on this show that I've got a friend that actually lives in Las Vegas. They're actually a teacher in that area. They're in the higher ed part of Vegas and everything. They actually were scheduled to go get their shot and everything in Arizona because their job is between Vegas and Arizona. Had an appointment. By the time they got to the appointment, they were told they had a 3-hour wait, so they did not have that time frame to wait 3 hours. And then when they came, they were told that actually they could come back and get it later because that was not used on that particular day was going to be thrown away. So there also seems to be a lot of waste of the vaccine as well because of some of the limitations as to how long it can stay around and all of that. So I do think that there is a lot of bureaucracy that is also taking place with what is happening. Because I know when my friend Janine told me about that, and I think that she's waiting for CVC or CVS or one of those pharmacies before she actually goes ahead and gets her shot. But she was thinking about getting it, went down to Arizona, and the whole time frame thing is why, as far as I know, she has not had it yet and everything. But I'd love to hear from you, Amante.
Okay. I would suggest if you're going to get it, and time wise, because of the time limit wait, I would schedule a day to just clear your whole schedule, and so you wouldn't have that problem. Because like you said, if I have a 3-hour wait limit and I can't wait that long, then you're missing the opportunity to get your very first vaccination, and you never know, you may not get a second chance to do that. So I would suggest that you clear your schedule for the entire day, and just if you have it, if you have the chance to get it, then get it. Now I kind of agree with my sister and Zack, because they don't have no cure for the common flu, the common cold, the flu, or any of that. But you can, in 9 months, you can come up with a vaccination that fast. But you can't cure cancer, you can't cure the common cold, you can't cure flu, you can't cure all these other diseases, but you can come up with something so fast. And some of the I don't know if you guys heard, but the baseball player who took the vaccination, he wound up passing from it. So I feel like it's a gamble. It's a 50-50 chance. It's a toy cost. It's a toy cost. Whatever side lands on, I mean, that it's just going to determine your fate. You know what I'm saying? It's a sad way to put it, but it's the truth. I had a couple of friends, legendary singer, Lamont Hadley out of St. Louis. I did his show. We was getting ready to do another major concert, and I literally just did his show, and next minute I know he passed away. Maybe if he had the vaccination as well, maybe he would have still been here today, with us today. So, I mean, I feel like we're young, it's not going to be as like effective, because, I've had COVID, I've overcame COVID, with me having an underlying medical condition. I was fortunate enough not to be on a ventilator. I didn't even get hospitalized. I had chest pains, and I had lost my smell and lost my taste and everything, but I was fortunate enough to overcome that. I didn't have to be hospitalized. I didn't have to be put on a ventilator. But still, I still want to be safe. I have kids. I have a child on the way, so that I have to be here for. I have to be here for my wife. I have to be here for my family. I still have stuff that I want to do, that I want to experience, and that I want to be here so I can take care of my family. So yeah, I'm gonna make sure that I'm vaccinated and that I'm still here, for my family. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my take on it.
Appreciate you. What's your thoughts, Professor Bill?
No, it's just Bill. I'm just a Bill. I'm here on Capitol Hill, and I'm off the committee. Come on, that's a bad joke. Nefertiti, you can't even laugh at that joke.
No,
right.
My sister's hard. My sister, she's a hard critic. She's a hard one.
No, I got that part. But see, she's cracking a smile. But don't worry about me. Listen, what I will say is this. Okay, I tend to agree with all of you, except that I am for whatever saves my people. Now, you're right. Everybody's got to make their own decisions. That's why we have freedom. That's why we fought for freedom.
I love this panel.
Make our own decisions. That's why we get to roll and we get to disagree and we get to say and think and read and write, and because that is our right. We earned it. Now, just because I disagree with Nefertiti, it's not because her and I disagree on one fundamental thing, and I know this to be true, young lady. I want my people to survive. I want my people to live. That I know we both agree on. Now, how we get there, we may disagree on. But what I do love about this Roundtable Sunday, right, we all get to be here. Because you know why? Because we all have a platform, which is why we can read, write, speak, and voice, and then discuss. And so, yes, Brenda, do research. Yes, Amante, think of it for ourselves. Yes, Zach, my hybrid friend. Okay? And Mark, my ever favorite host, just moderating things. And Nefertiti, my African queen. Don't mind me. But I want my people to survive. And now, however I got to do that, by hook or by crook. If I got to dig back, if I got to pull up, if I got to stomp out, then I'm going to do it. Now, if there's a vaccine, you're right, Zach. I want the same one that Biden got.
That's all I want.
That's all I'm saying.
And that's all I'm asking for as well. And actually, I do have both of my relatives in terms of my dad. I don't know about my younger brother yet. I need to check with him and my nephews. But I do know that both my dad and my mom have gotten the vaccine. Both of them are, in mom's case, she's late 70s. In dad's case, he's early 80s. And they have both gotten their vaccine. And I think both of them have gotten both doses. I know dad definitely has gotten both doses. But they have definitely gone through the process and all of that. And along those lines, I did see that Lance made some comments, and he was saying that he's with you and everything. He's seen different people die disproportionately. He lost a beloved uncle and nearly lost an aunt, and knows 7 others who have died of the virus. And he received, I think he was saying that he received the virus. Maybe he was saying he received the vaccine on Thursday, but he said that he did it.
No, I got that part, Mark. But listen, I want to be clear for the audience, and that is to say that, listen, this is not about who wins, who loses. This is about, making your own decisions and hearing the arguments. Because Nefertiti has an argument, and Brenda's right. You got to do your own research. And Zach, you're right. Okay, I mean, just because I think one way. Sorry, go ahead, young lady.
Oh, you're fine. I just feel, honestly, people have to be more disciplined in their eating regimen. You are what you eat. If you're eating junk, your body is going to naturally react to things that are out in the world. My brother will tell you, I'm probably one of the cleanest eaters. I rarely get sick. I don't get colds for real. I think I've maybe had the flu maybe one time, and I think I had that when I was like 14 or 15. I haven't had any major diseases. I haven't had any major things really happen to me, maybe because I've always been aware of what I put in my body. And because we get so complacent and we get lazy and we're like, you may not feel like cooking that day. You might want to go get some takeout, or you may want to go to a fast food place. You've got to remember you are what you eat. And so I'm a very big active person about feeding myself the nutrients that I need. I take my sea moss every day. I take my vitamins every day. I do my yoga. I do my workouts. I make sure that I take care of my body so I can feel at my optimum best. Again, you know what I'm saying? Now, I have my moments where I like a little piece of fried chicken here and there. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I am very, very much on my clean eating regimen and my routine. I'm very disciplined in that, and I will not shake that. And I feel like a lot of people get sick because they eat and consume all of these different pesticides, all these different fillers and things that are being processed in these foods. So again, no, I don't have a farm. I can't go out and kill a chicken or nothing like that, but I can take the necessary steps to make sure I pull the wild and all that other stuff and all the, fillers and whatever else they put in these foods out of it. But I also believe in growing my own thing. We have to become more proactive about growing our own fruits, our own vegetables. People have to learn how to stop being so lazy and thinking things are just going to be handed to them. We have to start taking back because our ancestors did that. They had gardens. They had, they had farms. You know what I'm saying? If we have more of that, I feel like, again, and we start actually supporting our farmers the way that we're supposed to, I feel like culturally we will not be so obese. We won't have so many problems. But until then, you know, we're going to be in the same predicament. So, I mean, I'm all for people who want to take this vaccine and whatnot. I have no problem with that. You know, I don't look down or shun people for doing that. If you want to be healthy, you know, also start looking at changing up your diet, your regimen. Also start changing up the things that you are, you know, consuming, because that has a lot to play in that. You get what I'm saying? So just be more proactive in what you're putting.
I was going to say, you hit the nail on the head, because I've been saying this for years, and I know I was a victim of my own stupidity, because I ate myself into a gut, which I hate, which I got me a nutritionist over the past year and a half, and I actually got back on my regimen. Mark will tell you, back on my workout, and I am a lot healthier. I have had 10 surgeries, but my surgeries were all bone and joint related. But as a man that's getting ready to turn 63, I understand now. My body is my temple. I've always been that, always been into Buddhism. I just got sidetracked. But now that I'm back on my regimen, I feel a lot better. I eat a lot healthier. I try to cook all my own food. Rarely do I go out for fast food. I've been cooking my own food because I understand I lost sight of what keeps me healthy. Now I'm back on that track, and my body actually does feel better. So for anybody out there listening, please understand, this is a great panel of discussion. Everybody has great input and opinions. We're not knocking anybody's anything. Like Nefertiti said, like Bill said, Brenda, the host Mark, and Amante from Vegas. We're all here just to help you guys out there understand mental illness, your health. All of that is important to IBM TV. Okay, that's what we do here. Smart TV. We want you guys to understand we're just trying to help in any way we can. So pro-vaccine, con-vaccine, individual choices, that's fine. Let's just all be healthy together. And like Bill said, then we keep our people moving up.
No, I definitely agree with you. And we get ready to wind everything down and everything. But
love you,
we got some other great shows that are getting ready to happen here as well on IBM TV, and including Alexandria May and the Talking Upstream guys and all of that. But it's been a great show, and definitely have enjoyed the conversation. And I agree with what Nefertiti was saying, that a lot of times we've got to look at the entire being of people. One of the people that I'm going to invite at some point or another on this panel is a good friend of mine, Damian Bynum, who has a thing called the Holy Tabernacle Church, which is kind of a Afrocentric church that he created himself. But he's oftentimes talking about that similar kind of talk, where it's about being sure that we are in tune with all the elements of our life, being the physical, the spiritual, the mental, and all of that, and understanding where we are in that relationship. And he was on one like you, Nefertiti, that I think he's probably in his I want to say he's maybe in his late 50s, early 60s, but he also has never been, as far as he remembers, really ill ever in his life. So he's definitely been having that kind of very rigid kind of way of living life, in the sense of eating healthy and doing things on that wellness tip. And it has definitely served him well. It seems like it served you well also. And I know, like Zack, I need to do better in terms of getting out there on the exercise front, but I definitely try to do regular meditation, do other things to try to make sure that I am in tune both with the spiritual side as well as the mental side. And now I'm also trying to get it in tune with some of the physical and healthy body aspect of life as well, because it is very important that we all do that, because we of course want to be here for as long as possible to carry on these great and powerful discussions. So like I said earlier, I'm definitely going to be inviting both of y'all back on into the near future, possibly as early as next week, to see if y'all are available to come on, because we would love to have y'all back on the platform and all of that. So
and we got another guest too next week that's going to join us, Lance Dandridge. So I just sent him a text.
So nice. Lance will be joining us as well. We definitely have Lance. I know Sandy Rodriguez, who was a guest of mine, has been watching. She was actually starting to watch doing the funk music with Zack, and she was watching as well. She's written a book called Choose to Prevail, and I know that I'm probably going to be able to pull her in as well. That'll give us some of that Latin American perspective, as she is originally from Mexico and now lives in Los Angeles working as a court interpreter. Bill, you have to remember, I had to learn the difference. There's a difference between a court reporter and a court interpreter, because I was actually originally thinking that she was a court reporter, but she made it very clear that no, she's a court interpreter, and that's a whole different job and everything. So she's out there doing that whole interpretation thing. One of the things, and this is just to wrap everything up, there are two historical days that are going on today. Today is the Day of Pie. People are celebrating the fact that it is 3/14. Some pizza places might even be offering discounts and things of that nature. I know that's not healthy food, Nefertiti, but they're probably still offering those kind of specials and everything in that sense. And of course, we can blame for some of us being lagging along Mr. Benjamin Franklin and the fact that it is a daylight saving time on it today. So just a thought. I'd love to hear from all of y'all what your thoughts are about the Day of Pie and daylight savings time, as we'll just kind of lighten the mood a little bit as we wrap up and everything. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Zach. What are your thoughts about the Day of Pie and daylight savings time?
I don't know what it is. What is it?
Well, it's basically the celebration of 3/14, and the Day of Pie is, that whole pi is a mathematical element and everything. So Pi Day is observed on March 14th, and 3, 1, and 4 are the first three significant digits of the pi, and it was founded in 1968 by Larry Shaw.
I got you. Here's my opinion on it. First of all, great panel, and every week I do what's called a lollipop, the thing, and I have a scale. 5 is good, the greatest. 1 is no good. I give this panel today 5 lollipops because all you guys were amazing. So you got the top. So 5 lollipops for the panel. Now, getting back to pi, since I do study the Anunnaki and Sumerian, I believe it's significant. I don't think it necessarily has to have a day, but I'm glad it is having a day. I remember pi, but again, mathematics, Anunnaki, Sumerian race, Egyptian culture. Please go study it. Let's learn our history. That's what I think about the Day of Pi.
Same thing to you, Professor Bill, in terms of the Day of Pi or daylight savings time, because I know I was probably dragging a little bit today because of it being daylight savings time, and it's a 23-hour day, not a 24-hour day.
Okay, listen, I can say this simply. Listen, if I was good in math, I wouldn't have been a lawyer. One, I like potato rather than pumpkin. That's all I got. As for everything else, I didn't just want to drop this quick note. Brenda, young lady, good to see you again. Yeah. Amante.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My strong black brother. hey. You keep fighting with me.
Yes, sir.
I look forward to seeing you next Sunday because, for me,
yes, sir.
This is me coming home to church. Don't mind me every Sunday. And so,
yes, sir.
When I get in a barbershop church, I mean, for me, this is good. So, Brenda, that's a wink.
Yeah.
Come on. Nefertiti, strong.
Love it.
Brenda, what is your thought about the Day of Pi and or daylight savings time as we all hopefully set our clocks forward, or some folks may still have a clock that needs to go forward?
What, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Am I up now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yes. In my nerdy days at Walnut Hills High School, we were all Latin scholars, and they threw math at us as well. Some of it stuck, and that happened to the thing in the 8th grade was who could remember the longest string of numbers in connection with pi. There was 1.4, and then some people could remember 10 digits after that. I can only remember 3.14, and that's it. That's 60. But I laugh whenever I see that because nobody knows or cares about it usually.
Mark does.
Yeah. What about yourself, Amante? And you can also address the daylight savings time, because I'm thinking that you might have had to set that clock early this morning, and hopefully all your electronic appliances did it for you.
I had to set my clock. I use Bixby. So I told her to set an alarm for 8 o'clock this morning. So yeah, I've been up for a while. So, but as far as pi, I mean, hey, I don't know. I used it in high school, but I haven't since then. But as far as the daylight savings time, I'm glad that we got a little bit more daytime, because when it was getting dark at 3, 4 o'clock, for some people it's depressing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, we just literally got up and now it feels like it's 12 o'clock midnight at 8 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that we got a little bit more sunlight, because now people feel a little bit more at ease now that they can see what they're doing. They can still go out and enjoy it. Not saying that the nighttime life is not cool, but I think people like the daytime a little bit more than the nightlife. So that's my take on it.
Now I'm with you. I'm with you on that and everything. As Zach will tell you, because we actually live in the same apartment complex area and everything. But I'm oftentimes doing the daytime grading test papers for a company called Measurement Incorporated, and sometimes I'm not done till 4:15 or 4:30. And I was not liking the fact that by the time I was done work, maybe I had an hour and a half of sunlight left and everything.
Yeah.
Whereas now I have a little bit longer, so I can still enjoy some sunlight even after I've done the full work day and all of that. So definitely I can agree with you in that regard. Nefertiti, glad that you decided to not just support your brother, but also come over here and join him and join us in the conversation. I'm definitely hoping that you will come back on the near future. I was enjoying your energy and all of that, but I would love to hear your thoughts. Hold on, I'm going to get back to you. I want to hear her thoughts on Daylight Savings Time and Pie.
Then Mark, be quiet and let us listen to her. I mean, quit telling me what you're thinking. I want to hear what she's thinking. Nefertiti, please, because I am all ears, and I will wiggle my ears to listen to you.
Well, I don't like math, so math has never been like a strong suit for me. But pie, I do love a good pizza pie. As long as it's gluten-free. I do. I love a good gluten pie. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, daylight saving time. So I'm not, I live life. I feel like, time is nothing but an illusion. So I do whatever I can. I move on my own beat, I guess. I never really paid attention to it because I just like to go out. I like to be out and about, so it doesn't matter what time it is for me. I can be a nocturnal and I can also be, in the daytime. So it's not a real big deal for me.
We have a lot in common. We have a lot in common.
Day, so I'm in St. Louis. Yeah, I'm in St. Louis. So it's like, 314 a day. I might even go get me a pie today just because,
Same.
Yeah.
Hey, go get me some go give me some emos.
I got a question.
Some emos?
Go give me some emos.
I'm hot. I knew you was gonna say emos with your fast self.
What's your question, Brenda?
I've got a question.
What's the question, Brenda?
I wanted to know, in St. Louis, is Saints roller rink still open?
No, it's not. Well, we have Skate King.
Skate King,
and that's the only one that that's the only one that I know about. Yeah.
Okay.
And I used to be a skater too.
Back in the 80s.
Skating. That's another good
wonderful.
Way. That's another good way to, if people don't. Yeah, it's a wonderful way to lose weight too. When people be like, "Oh, I gotta exercise," no, just do something that you really, like doing. Skating is really good for weight loss.
No, definitely skating is a wonderful way to do that and everything.
Thank you guys for having me.
Well, we look forward to having both of you back on in the very near future. I think that Zach has found a relative of his from the hybrid world and everything, because I'm beginning to think that Nefertiti may be part of that same.
I said we got that in common. Look, let me tell you something.
I'm not. Yeah, I am not of this world. When people ask me where I'm from,
I know my people when I see them. I know my people when I see them.
Pallades Starseed. Most definitely, I'm a Pallades Starseed. So. Yeah.
I know my people when I see them. That's why everything you were saying, Nefertiti, I got you.
Yeah, and if you guys want to follow me on Facebook, you can. I am a spiritual teacher, so I do a lot with astrology, stars, the moon phases, things of that nature. I know people are still trying to get accustomed to all of that, but I do a lot of that if you guys are ever interested. But
I'm going to have you on my show as a guest.
I was just really coming to... Oh, yep. I just want to show my moral support. I'm so proud of my brother. I really am, and I'm just excited to see all of the new changes and growth, and I just really respect this podcast. This was just wonderful. This was very enthralling. I really enjoyed it.
Sounds great. Glad to have you on here and everything.
Seriously, I didn't want to.
How can folks find your social media? You mentioned social media. I'd love to folks to learn how they can find your social media. So what is the social media site?
It's Nefertiti It's Nefertiti Smith on Facebook, and I will type it in the chat. And you guys can definitely go on there and add me. But yes.
Sounds good. Bill, if you haven't already jetted, but how can folks find you? I know that you're oftentimes now back on the Lawyer's Den, but how else can they find you as well, those that are watching the roundtable and want to see you on a regular place?
You can find me at Bill Tresvant on Facebook. You can find me at William Francis Tresvant on LinkedIn. For our guests, I put my phone number, direct line, into the thing, so all you got to do is call, and that's literally I answer the phone. But I listen. You can always find me here on Zack's show, and then
exactly.
And then the Lawyer's Den, and then some other things that are kind of rolling around. But listen, I'm always here to have a good argument. That's all. Don't mind me.
Yo, this is needed because we put out so much information for people, and Nefertiti and Monte and Brenda knows this, and Bill, Mark. This goes around the world. So right now in India, they're watching this at night. So the information we put out and give them positive Afro-American mixed culture information is the most important thing. IBM TV, Smart TV, thank y'all, because that's what we do.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely appreciate you. Brenda, How can folks reach you and everything if they want to do the Club Funketeers, or they just want to reach you in general? How can they reach you?
Oh, just Brenda Woods on Facebook, and that's the Brenda Woods in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Sounds good. And Amante, we had put the Cash App up there earlier, but how else can they reach you on Facebook or on social media in general?
So you can find me on Facebook at Amante Drummer Henry. You can find me on Instagram at Amante_Drummer_Henry. YouTube, Amante Drummer Henry as well. And you can find my band Intuitive_Soul Band on IG, and also Intuitive Soul on Facebook.
Zack, just real quickly, how can folks find the great Zack Robertson and Number 9 out there on Facebook?
Facebook, Zack Robertson. You can find me there, Zack W9 on Instagram. I'm on Twitter, Zack, whatever it is, Zack at Gmail, whatever. All the social media outlets. But we do this show, and then I do another show on Saturdays. You guys always guest and always the love that we share. Bill brought up something really important at the top of this roundtable when he said this is his church and this is like the barbershop. And we want everybody on the panel and everybody in the audience to feel like that. Please be interactive on the comments, because that just gives us more to talk about. Last thing, Mark Lee, one of the hardest working men. He has his own show on Mondays, another show on Thursdays. He does the Juke Joint Play. He pays great homage to the blues singers at WCOM. Mark has about 5 different things going on, so please follow him. Mark Lee, tell us how we can find your information.
Yes, you can find me on most of the social platforms, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Facebook, under Lee Entertainment 62. You can also find me on LinkedIn under that IN/Blues Radio. And of course, you can find me also on YouTube as a Mr. Blues Radio. So definitely, if you look under any of those, that's where you can find me at. And I'm always willing to have these great conversations because, like Bill said, this is definitely church for a lot of us.
Church,
and it's oftentimes where it's just one big family, and it's a growing family. We love having new members. But like I said, Amante and Nefertiti are now part of our family as well. So we look forward to having continuous growing members of our family and look forward to seeing them back on various shows. Zack had already warned y'all that y'all might be getting an invitation to appear on the radio show, as well as Mullins Music and Memories, which are my 2 Monday afternoon shows here on IBM TV. And I might also be inviting you to the audio podcast that I do with my good friend, Dean Geronimo. And Bill has had the pleasure of being on that as well. And I'm going to probably invite a lot of y'all onto that also, because Monday is the day that I really go mad. Y'all think that I go mad on Sundays when I do about 3 to 4 hours. Try doing about 7 hours, which is what happens on Monday. So we go from 2 to 9 with straight podcasts, 2 streaming ones followed by the audio one, back to back to back So yes, Bill and Zach, I might be a hybrid as well. Either that, or I just might be slightly insane. But
light
whatever, I enjoy
light workers. We're all light workers. That's what we do.
My man.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right.
Thoroughly great show. Enjoyed having all of y'all on. I'm going to hit this end button.
I love all. Wait. I love all of you. I want my people to be free. I love all of you. I'll see you next week.
We love you too, man.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Y'all take